Good evening, everyone, wherever you are, and we thank you so much for tuning in to another edition of Miami Men's Basketball here on RedHawk Radio. My name is Andrew Relvas, and today I will be your pregame, postgame, and halftime host for the Miami Men's Basketball game versus the Coppin State Eagles. Tonight, it is the very first edition between these two teams, Miami versus Coppin State. All time, they have not matched up before, but overall, this is kind of a story of two different teams here. Both sides are winless, and for Coppin State, they come to this game with a record of 0-4 overall. They dropped the first one at Virginia Tech 100-55. Game 2, they lost 70-49 at home versus Towson. Game 3 at Mount St. Mary's, they lost a close one 74-60, and at Louisville, they lost 61-41. And on the other side, the Miami RedHawks come to this game with a record of 0-2 overall. Their first game, it was on the road at Evansville, a tough one. The RedHawks kind of hung in there all game long, and at the very end, they lost control. They lost 72-64 in that one. Darwishi Hunter, a game-high 21 points in that one. And then a Game 2 defeat at home versus Texas State a week ago on Saturday, 75-65 at home. It was an 11 o'clock start. The energy just wasn't there for the RedHawks. They lost 75-65. Darwishi Hunter led the RedHawks with 21 points. He's averaging 21 points, 21 in 2 games, and he has just been so phenomenal for the RedHawks, really filling that Mekhi Larry role, that veteran guard role, and he's really performed exceptionally well here for the Miami RedHawks. This is also the first game of the Miami Classic. The RedHawks will be hosting 2 other teams here, along with Coppin State. It's also Eastern Illinois and Western Kentucky. So it's a plethora of different teams here, and it should be a fun-filled weekend in Millett Hall. Now, how did we get here with these two teams? The Miami RedHawks last year, they finished 12-20, 6-12 in the MAC. They made a run for it late in the season to make the conference tournament as an 8 seed, and unfortunately they faced Toledo, the number 1 seed in the conference. They lost 91-75 in Cleveland. Now, Toledo, they didn't win the conference. It was Kent State. They matched up against Indiana in the NCAA tournament, and Indiana won that one. But this is a tough conference from top to bottom. You know, the RedHawks, they were projected to finish near the bottom in the MAC last year. They made a run for it, and some similar things can happen this year. They have a lot of young talent, a bunch of freshman talent. They have 7 out of 15 players on the roster being freshmen, and a bunch of them are highly recruited. They're going to be some skilled players to watch out for throughout the years, and it should be a fun group for Travis Steele's squad. Now, I'll give you the stat breakdown for the RedHawks. Leading the scoring, it is Darwishi Hunter, 21 points. He's been playing phenomenal, 56% from the floor, 75% from the free throw line, and 53% from 3. He is doing really well, and he's really contributing the rock well. 5 rebounds as well, and 2 assists for him. Second leading scorer, it is Jaquel Morse, the sophomore. 24 minutes for him, 10 points, 6 rebounds. He knows his role, and he's playing exceptionally well. 64% from the floor, 67% from the free throw line, and he's doing a great job for the RedHawks. Been one of the team leaders in rebounds for Miami. The last one, Mekhi Cooper, 8 points on the year for him, 62% from the floor and 67% from the free throw line. He also hasn't missed a 3-point shot. That is something the RedHawks are going to have to rely on throughout the rest of the early season here. And we shall see. You know, the RedHawks have plenty of young talent, but they also have a good amount of veteran experience, and the main man being Darwishi Hunter, 5th year. He last played for the NIU Huskies, and he's been all over the country. He played at Central State earlier on. He played at Weber State, 2 years at NIU, and this will be his final college season. But he comes to Miami after averaging 9 points for the Huskies, And already he's performing so well for Miami. I'm sure head coach Travis Steele has been nothing but pleased with Hunter's performance throughout the year. RedHawks also have Bryce Boltman, a grad student from Nashville. He has been a pretty solid player for the RedHawks, averaging 35 minutes a game. The stats aren't it for him, but he's definitely contributing, and kind of playing that veteran role. The RedHawks are going to definitely rely on him, especially with a good amount of young, inexperienced talent. And I'll turn it over to the Coppin State side. Coppin State Eagles, last year they finished 9-23, 4-10 in the MEAC conference. This was a year after 3 straight finishes with a 9-23 record that they decided to move on from Juan Dixon after 6 tough seasons at Coppin State, a 51-131 record overall. They finished 9-23, 3 straight years, just like I just told you. It was a tough one for Coppin State, but they wiped the slate clean here. First-year head coach Larry Stewart, he returns to his alma mater after leading Coppin State to the NCAA tournament for the first time in school history in 1990. He's currently struggled this year at Coppin State. He's 0-4, and he's played some tough games on the road and at home. But on the road here in Oxford, he wants to get the first win of the year under his belt, and the first of the year for the Eagles. Now, for the Eagles, this is a similar group to the RedHawks. 7 freshmen, majority underclassed roster, and on the contrary, leading the team, it's really been the veterans. Justin Winston, especially the grad student, 11.8 points a game. He's been playing well in 4 games for Coppin State. 3 rebounds and 1 steal. He's going to be a player to watch out for Coppin State. He also was phenomenal in the first game, 12 points, and he had 13 points and 10 rebounds in the last game against Louisville. There's a player to be circling on this Coppin State roster that the RedHawks got to look out for. It has to be Winston. But overall, you know, Coppin State, they're a team that is very turnover prone. They're averaging 14 turnovers. Again, the RedHawks also have struggled with turnovers in 2 games. The RedHawks have committed 34 turnovers. They got to be more careful with the rock, and that's definitely going to be a theme throughout tonight's affair. Well, I'll take a break here, and we'll have our scoreboard segment coming up next, and we'll be back in just a little bit. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Andrew Relvas. You're listening to Miami Basketball here on Red Hawk Radio. Welcome back to the RedHawk Radio pregame show. My name is Andrew Relvas, as always, and today we'll be talking about the Mid-American Conference matchups throughout the night. One game has already concluded. Northern Illinois, the Huskies on top of Georgia State. They win 70-64 on a road game at the Capital Classic. NIU improves to 3-1 overall. Zarik Nutter led the scoring for the Huskies, 22 points and 6 rebounds. Another game that's going to be going on. Bowling Green is going to be hosting Bellarmine. That game will take off at 7 o'clock. Bowling Green trying to get their third conference win of the year. One more conference game. It is the Kent State Golden Flashes hosting Hampton. They're currently leading 42-21. 6 minutes left to go in the first half. We'll take a break for the national anthem and then more to come on the scoreboard segment. Welcome back to the scoreboard segment. Some top 25 matchups to look out for. Number 9 ranked Duke Blue Devils. They're hosting the Bucknell Bisons. They're currently up 49-29, a home game for Duke. It's going to be a good one there. 1:02 left to go in the first half on that one. Michigan State Spartans hosting the Butler. They're up 14-10, 13:05 left to go in the first half. Michigan State, they're going to be a tough team to beat, and overall, a couple tough losses here and there, but they'll pick it up. Number 12 ranked Miami Hurricanes, currently up 79-67. And they won big in the Bahamas by 12 points. That game is final. Number 6 ranked Houston Cougars defeated the Utah Utes today, 76-66 on the road in Charleston. Number 17 ranked Kentucky Wildcats hosting Stonehill. That game will tip off at 7 o'clock as well. James Madison, phenomenal football school, and so far they're undefeated in basketball this year, 3-0 on the year. They're going to be hosting Radford. Made the NCAA tournament a few years ago. They're going to be hosting them in Cancun. That should be a very entertaining matchup, also at 7 o'clock. Number 13 ranked Texas A&M Aggies, currently going to be hosting Oral Roberts at 8 o'clock, 3-0 on the year. And that should be an entertaining matchup on the SEC network. The next game, the Arkansas Razorbacks hosting UNC Greensboro. 14th ranked Razorbacks going to projected to finish very high in the ACC, and this would be a very entertaining and a fun team to watch throughout the year. Make sure to keep an eye on the Razorbacks. The 20th ranked UNC Tar Heels hosting the UC Riverside. That game will be on ACC Network at 8 p.m. 4 more games. Alabama hosting Mercer, 22-ranked Crimson Tide, currently 3-0 on the year. That'll be an 8 o'clock game. It should be a fun one. Illinois hosting Valparaiso, 23-ranked Illinois. Illini, 2-1 on the year, trying to improve to 3-1. Villanova hosting Maryland, a Big Ten, Big East matchup. The Terps versus the Wildcats. Villanova 2-1 on the year, trying to get win number 3. Last but not least, the Arizona Wildcats are hosting Belmont. Arizona 3-0 after defeating Duke on the road a week ago. They're trying to continue to stay hot, and we shall see if they can do so. That game will tip off at 11 p.m. We'll keep it here for the keys to the game. How can the RedHawks take down the Coppin State Eagles? Well, it's simple as that. The RedHawks, they have to be careful with the ball. They cannot turn it over. The RedHawks, they've currently averaging 17 turnovers a game. I know it's 2 games. Those stats are going to change here and there, but they had 20 turnovers in the first game at Evansville, 14 in the second versus Texas State. They have to be careful with the basketball, and they can't have careless turnovers that will give Coppin State the momentum. And they also have to make the right shots. They can't chuck up threes. They shot 10 for 20 in the first game versus Evansville. That was a close one on the road. RedHawks couldn't pull it off, but if they keep shooting like that, the Hawks are going to be in a good position overall. And game 2, it's much worse, 5 for 18. That's a tough shooting night from the three-point land for the RedHawks. They have to clean that up, and I'm sure that's something head coach Travis Steele has really preached to his team. Just pick the right shots, and things should be going down for Miami. They also have to be careful about the foul situation. You know, you have a guard in Darwishi Hunter. He averages half a steal, and you have another guy like Makai Cooper, veteran on this roster. They got to be careful about the fouling situation, because if they get too aggressive, a couple fouls here and there, that could really kind of give some momentum to the Coppin State Eagles, and that is something you can't do with a group that's somewhat young, but they still have a good amount of veterans on the roster, just like the RedHawks. So they got to be careful. But, you know, overall, the RedHawks, they've been averaging 64.5 points a game. They had 65 in the first one and 64 in the second. If they just are making the right shots and kind of selecting the right positions to go to, it should be home cooking for the RedHawks, who are trying to get win number 1 on the year. It's also worth noting Coppin State is ranked 3rd, the 3rd worst team in the nation according to the KenPom rankings. After Lemoyne and Mississippi Valley State, this is a game that the RedHawks have to win. They have to come out aggressive, and this is a game the RedHawks cannot afford to lose. It's a Friday night primetime action here in Oxford. Why not go out with a bang and get the home crowd going here? For Coppin State, how are they going to win this one? They have to come into Millett. They have to silence the doubters, and they got to play their brand of basketball. They played some tough 4 games of the season. They're a high turnover team. They average 14 turnovers a game, but they've coughed up the ball a ton. They've had 3 games out of 4 where they've recorded double-digit turnovers. They just have to be cognizant of the basketball, and they're also a not great three-point shooting team. They've really struggled. They have some pretty capable three-point shooters, but they have to pick the right shots just like the RedHawks, and it'll be tough. You know, you're facing Darwishi Hunter, who is averaging 21 points a game, and he's also a very qualified rebounder. You also got a guy like Jaquel Morris, who he has that size. He's also going to put up those points, and he's going to grab those offensive boards. The RedHawks are going to try and take full advantage of the Eagles here, but we shall see. It should be an entertaining matchup here live from Millett Hall. Turn it over to the broadcasters in just a moment. That's going to do it here from the pregame show. My name is Andrew Relvas. So glad you could be here with us. Miami versus Coppin State in just one moment. I'll turn it over to Luke and Will momentarily. Thanks so much.
Welcome into Millett Hall here, Miami men's basketball kicking off the Miami Classic on this Friday night as two teams look to get their first win of the season. The 0-2 Miami RedHawks hosting the 0-4 Eagles from Coppin State. Luke West Poley and Will Summers with you, and Will, through two games for Miami, obviously coming out winless. A couple of games that the RedHawks were certainly in pretty much all the way through, but it was a lot of self-inflicted stuff that Miami suffered. It was turnovers against Evansville. It was rebounding against Texas State, looking to shore up some of that against a really struggling Coppin State team that comes in on the road here tonight for their third road game of the season.
Well, we mentioned the rebounding was a big-time concern for Miami in the game against Texas State a few days ago. They almost got out-rebounded on the offensive side of the ball from Texas State. Texas State almost had as many offensive rebounds as Miami had defensive rebounds. But like you mentioned, there's been a lot of bright spots for this Miami squad, especially when you got a guy like Darwishi Hunter averaging over 20 points a game. You really can't be too mad about that.
For the RedHawks, the starting five will be pretty much what we're used to, as Evan Ipsaro, Darwishi Hunter, and Makai Cooper are in the backcourt. Jaquel Morris and Bryce Boltman will be the two starters for the RedHawks up front. For Coppin State, under first-year head coach Larry Stewart, things have not gone according to plan to start things off. They lost on Wednesday on the road at the Yum Center against the Louisville Cardinals, 61-41, and a Louisville team that has really just had a dreadful season to that point, and not one of the better Power 5 teams in the country, but Coppin State was blown out by them. They're still looking for their first win of the season. It's a team that averages just a hair over 50 points a game this year and has really struggled in all facets to start this season. Coppin State going with Malik Battle, Greg Spurlock, Toto Fagbenley, Cameron Sparrow, and Luka Tekovic to start off for first-year head coach Larry Stewart. Eagles have three transfers in the starting lineup, but as mentioned, it's been a little bit of an issue to find the footing for Coppin State to begin the season. And mentioned earlier on, they've played a lot on the road. They have already played 3 road games this season, and this will be their 4th away from home. Coppin State team out of the DMV area will come in here to Millett Hall to take on the RedHawks. Miami Classic here this weekend, full of basketball action. We'll have it for you all weekend long as we've got 4 broadcasts over the next 3 days. As Will and I are with you tonight with Andrew Relvas, our host. Tomorrow we've got a doubleheader for you as Coppin State takes on Eastern Illinois in men's action, and prior to that, we'll get our first women's broadcast of the year as Glenn Box gets going with his women's home opener in his first season. The Red Hawk women taking on Western Kentucky, and then the Miami men will be back at it on Sunday afternoon to wrap up the Miami Classic against the Panthers from Eastern Illinois. Coppin State will move right to left here in the opening half to begin things. The Eagles in the black uniforms with Coppin State in script. Black lettering with yellow trim across the front. Black numbers with yellow trim on the front and back, and a yellow stripe down the side of the black shorts. For Miami, it's the red uniforms. Dark on dark uniform matchup here at Millett Hall this evening as the RedHawks go with the red uniforms. Block Miami across the front in white with white numbers on the front and back, and the white M above the names on the back of the jerseys. A diagonal white stripe on the side of the shorts. RedHawks moving left to right in half number 1. We're all set to go here from Millett Hall. So glad you're with us for game 1 of the Miami Classic between the RedHawks and Coppin State. It's Jaquel Morris against Malik Battle on the opening tip-off. Or check that, that's Toto Fagbenley for Coppin State. Ball is up in the air, and it's won by the RedHawks. We are underway here from Millett Hall. It was tipped out of bounds. Bryce Boltman let it go into the Miami bench, and that will actually go out of bounds to Coppin State. So 1 second in, an inbound in the front court for the Eagles, and it will be Cameron Sparrow, the freshman native of Baltimore, local kid, who will inbound for the Eagles. Officials stopping this for a second. They're going to reset the clock back to 20 minutes, it looks like, as it wasn't touched by anyone in play after Jaquel Morris won that tip. Actually, they're going to now roll it back down to 1958. And now Cameron Sparrow will inbound right in front of the Miami bench. Finds the Oral Roberts transfer, Luka Tekovic, right outside the arc. Now onto the right wing. Greg Spurlock trying to go inside, driving baseline for the Eagles. Kicks one back outside. It's intercepted by Darwishi Hunter, and he is fouled, trying to go the other way. Malik Battle, the redshirt senior, transfer from South Georgia Tech, tried to break up that run as Hunter had numbers the other way. First team foul for Coppin State, 13 seconds in, and the RedHawks will have their first possession on offense. Freshman Evan Ipsaro, star out of Northern Kentucky, running the point to begin things for the RedHawks, just right of the arc. He hands off to Jaquel Morris, left elbow, bouncing down low in the low block. Boltman puts a shoulder into a defender, tried to toss one up. It was stripped away by Sparrow. Eagles run it the other way. On the far side of the floor, this is Spurlock back up top for Sparrow. Now Battle will back this up to the logo. Makai Cooper right in his face. 40 seconds in, no score between the RedHawks and Coppin State. Over on the far side, Cameron Sparrow once again. Jabs, gets off a screen, has no room. He'll sling it near side for Greg Spurlock. 10 to shoot. Spurlock at the top of the key. Over for Tekovic on the far side. Now Spurlock again just inside the arc. Pulls up left elbow. Off the back iron, no good. Rebound tapped out by Tekovic. And it's secured by Malik Battle for the Eagles. Fresh 20 seconds. Coming just inside the arc. Battle pulls up from mid-range. He missed badly off the side of the backboard. And Darwishi Hunter snares the rebound for the RedHawks. His pass, though, to the far side got tipped away by Battle, and now here comes Coppin State the other way with the foul in transition. Bentley throws it off the glass and in for two, and he'll go to the line a minute and 13 seconds in.
Well, Luke, that first minute was really just a microcosm of all the problems that Miami's had throughout these first two games. It was an offensive rebound that led Coppin State to have another chance on the offensive end. And then right away, Darwishi Hunter with the turnover gives Coppin State an early lead. And Miami really needs to figure out those two areas of the ballgame if they want to have any success.
Bentley throws it off the front iron, no good. Rebound got hit around a couple of times before Evan Ipsaro found it for the RedHawks. Behind the back dribble for him. Eventually the ball comes up top for Bryce Boltman. Now this is Darwishi Hunter at the logo. He slings right elbow for Jaquel Morris. Morris jabs across the paint, hands for Hunter. Step back, long jumper off balance. It's too short. And the rebound plucked off the court by Battle for Coppin State. Battle calls for a screen, heads around the right side, now kicks to the corner, driving baseline and trying to throw it back out. Spurlock stepped on the baseline there, and he will turn it over back to the RedHawks right in front of the Miami bench. The RedHawks were all over it. 18-17 to go first half, and it's 2-0 Coppin State. Millett Hall crowd still on their feet as they have not been given the chance to sit, the RedHawks, yet to get their first bucket. Evan Ipsaro carries it across the timeline straight away. Sparrow giving him all sorts of trouble, but Ipsaro finds Boltman. He got hit hard as that ball got tipped out of bounds. It will stay with the RedHawks, but Greg Spurlock was defending really hard there and nearly forced another Miami turnover.
Curious no call from the officials. Boltman, yeah, like you mentioned, got really hit hard as he tried to find Morris in the corner, but no call from the officials. Play on.
Inbound comes to Morris, left elbow, back outside for Boltman on the left wing. He drives through, Mac Logo now heads down, fakes the shot from underneath, looking for options, throws it back outside, pass gets tipped, and it's intercepted by Spurlock. Running against Cooper, Spurlock into the paint, throws up a shot, and it drops in for two. Greg Spurlock with his first points, and Coppin State up 4-0 with 17:43 to go first half. Things have gone disastrously. It's been a nightmare start for this RedHawk team to begin the Miami Classic here at home. Boltman up top. Gives left elbow for Jaquel Morris, now back outside. Hunter tees up for three and connects.
Well, Luke, when you mentioned things aren't going your way, you got to rely on your experience. They find grad transfer Darwishi Hunter right there, and he knocks in another three to start off a really great start to this year.
4-3 now, 17-16 to go in the opening half. Darwishi Hunter shooting over 60% from the field and 50% from three through the first two games. An experienced D1 player, transfer from Northern Illinois. Up top for Coppin State, Bentley tried to drive down low. It's stripped away by Boltman. He's got a fast break, nobody to beat the other way. Boltman runs the floor, lays it too strong with the right hand, but the putback slam comes in by Hunter.
Hunter's just everywhere you need him to be at all times, and he's just, again, we mentioned the experience he brings is so valuable for this Miami team.
5-4 RedHawks, 16:45 to go. Now a near side three comes from Coppin State. Sparrow, it falls short, and the rebound picked up by the RedHawks. Hunter in transition, heat check, three from the right wing. It's no good, in and out. Nice rebound, though, inside by Evan Ipsaro, and the RedHawks can reset. Round the arc to the far side. Thinking about shooting, Bryce Boltman will pull it back down, and Miami will set up the offense from up top. Just inside the arc, left to the key. That was Morris, tried to throw it down low. He was looking for Ipsaro. It led him too much and went out of bounds. And it will be a turnover for the RedHawks. Coppin State ball with 16:22 to go in the first half. 5-4 RedHawks. Miami making their first subs as they bring on Ryan Mabry and Bradley Dean. First time those two guys haven't started for the RedHawks this season. And Coppin State will get the ball back here down one. Malik Battle carries it up the court with the left-hand dribble across the timeline, left wing. Evan Ipsaro up in his grill. Toss comes over to the far side for Priest Ryan. Pittsburgh native will hand it off. Now driving just inside the arc. Spurlock with a mid-range jumper, and he knocks it in.
Just too much space from Darwishi Hunter on the defensive side of the ball. Leads to an easy jumper for Coppin State right there. And Miami really just needs to settle in. There's a reason they're a better squad than this Coppin State team. They just got to prove why.
RedHawks double-digit favorites coming into this game. Coppin State, according to KenPom, third worst team in Division I. Near side, Ipsaro thought about the three. Instead tries a bounce pass for Hunter, but it's plucked away by Spurlock. He runs at the length of the floor, and with the left hand will lay it in. Spurlock with another bucket. He's got now 6 first-half points, and it's 8-5 Coppin State over Miami with 15:30 to go in the opening half. Hunter will set up the offense for Miami. At the right elbow, this is Jaquel Morris with 18 to shoot. Back outside, a pass got tipped, still finds Ryan Mabry. He heads to the right wing outside the arc. Dean back for Mabry. 10 to shoot. Mabry way beyond the arc, carries it back out to the M in the center of the court. Now just inside the arc at the key, this is Morris. Back for Ipsaro straight away. 3-string music. Evan Ipsaro ties the game at 8 apiece with his first 3-point bucket of the night. And 5 minutes in, we are tied once again. Running all the way through, Malik Battle out of control, lost it, but it got tipped out of bounds on the baseline. And it will stay with Coppin State here, and that takes us to our first media timeout. Well, it has been a fast-moving opening 5 minutes here from Millett Hall. We're tied up at 8 apiece with 14:56 to go here from Oxford. We're back after this. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Miami Classic. It's Miami men's basketball on RedHawk Radio. Luke West Poley and Will Summers back with you from Millett Hall. 14:56 to go opening half, and our score 8-8 between Miami and Coppin State. Eagles will have it coming out of the timeout. And Will, recurring theme for this Miami team, they had 8 turnovers in the first 8 minutes last Saturday against Texas State. 5 in the first 5 minutes here. Some good three-point shooting from the likes of Darwishi Hunter and Evan Ipsaro. Have this game within Miami's reach, but these giveaways have got to stop.
Well, 5 turnovers in 5 minutes. You don't really expect to be tied, but that's exactly where Miami finds himself right now. Just got to settle in, play good basketball.
So in the front court, out of the timeout, Malik Battle over to the far side for Callie Horton. He makes his game debut and will go to the near side. Quickly around the horn, now left to the paint. Ryan tosses one up, and that got swatted away. Ball rolls off the leg of Jaquel Morrison out of bounds on the rebound. It will stay with Coppin State here with 9 to shoot. 14:40 to go first half, tied up at 8. Inbound comes from Malik Battle, and he'll throw an out route pass to Ryan, who comes down with it for the Eagles. On the near wing with 3 to shoot. It's pushed back inside for Ryan. He has to throw up a turnaround jumper, and it falls off the front of the rim. Rebound by Jaquel Morris for the RedHawks. Makai Cooper carries it across the timeline, gives to Morris on the left wing. Now he hands off for Ian Elmer, slashes in, now makes his way back outside. Bradley Dean circles to the right side and hands for Makai Cooper. He jabs, throws a bullet to the far side. Mabry spots up for 3, and it clatters home. Nice ball movement by the RedHawks. Credit the assist to Makai Cooper. Ryan Mabry puts in his first 3-point bucket of the game. 3 triples for the RedHawks early on. They lead it 11-8, 6 minutes in. Ball was nearly lost on the floor by Sparrow for Coppin State, but he gets it back and finds Winston on the far side. Right of the paint, he goes back outside for Battle, puts up a three. It won't go, but the rebound is scooped up and tossed back in by Priest Ryan. He started 3 of the 4 games for Coppin State so far. Priest Ryan, the Pittsburgh native, puts the Eagles within 1. Bradley Dean has it now for Miami on the right side, over for Makai Cooper, pushes it in for a wide open Ian Elmer, throws it off the glass and in with the left hand. Ian Elmer with his first points, and the RedHawks back out in front by 3. 13-10 Miami, 13-22 to go first half. Contested three taken early on in the shot clock by Winston. It was an air ball, but on the uncontested rebound, the RedHawks will cough it up as a mistake underneath there by Makai Cooper, and Coppin State's going to get this ball back.
Just not a good shot at all. Winston was 0 for 3 in the game against Louisville a couple nights ago, and just not with that much time on the shot clock, not the shot Coppin State wants at all.
Ryan Archie has it straight away for the Eagles, crosses over and spins into the paint, throws it back outside for Horton. He got fouled on a reach-in by Ryan Mabry. And so the Eagles will inbound it. 13-10 to go in the opening half, and Miami leading 13-10. Second team foul for the RedHawks, first on Ryan Mabry. Right in front of us on the near sideline, Callie Horton, native of Erie, Pennsylvania. Shout out Erie, Pennsylvania, tosses it in. Archie spins down the right lane, throws it up, and it clitters home off the right side of the rim and in. Really athletic move. Ryan Archie has been working inside through these last couple of possessions, and Coppin State's within 1. 12:49 to go first half. Ryan Mabry just right of the key, over for Bradley Dean. The RedHawks moving it around the arc, can't get any penetration inside. A pass fired in was tipped around, but Jackson Katecki couldn't hold on, and the Eagles take it away. Now up the left side, Archie slashes across the paint, goes back outside for Winston, drives down the left lane, throws up a shot too strong. Second effort on the putback by Ryan. He gets fouled, as that one also had too much on it, but he will go to the line to shoot 2. Bradley Dean picks up the foul. That's his first. 3 subs going up to the scorer's table for Miami, as Boltman, Morris, and Hunter are set to come back in following the free throws for Coppin State. Priest Ryan is perfect on the year at the line, averaging 5 points a game. His first free throw is up and in without an issue. And that ties the game at 13 with 12:31 to go in the opening half.
Well, that was really the story of Miami's 2 games so far this year. The defensive possessions have been really, really solid, but teams just throw up a kind of a prayer shot off the backboard, off the rim, and they're able to get the offensive rebound and get to the line and make some free throws.
Ryan's second free throw is up, and it's off the back iron. Rebound was swatted outside by 2 Eagles, but it finds Bradley Dean. He races forward, but will now pull it back outside the arc on the left wing. Darwishi Hunter into the right corner for Makai Cooper. Fakes the shot, now slings it back outside for Dean. Left wing 3, off the back iron, and the rebound is hauled out of the air by Winston, who rose above that group for Coppin State to come down with the ball. Coppin State, a team that has really struggled to rebound the ball this season, but holding their own right now inside. 13-13, 8 minutes in here from Millett Hall. Up top, in between the legs on the dribble, Ryan heads to the far side. He finds Jones in the corner, throws up a turnaround shot, in and out. Rebound by Bradley Dean for the RedHawks. Dean pushes it over to the far side for Boltman. Nearly lost it with a right-hand dribble, but recollects, heads down the right lane and gets fouled. Nice little backhand scoop pass out for Bradley Dean after the whistle, but it will not count, as the RedHawks will get an inbound following the foul. And that takes us to our next media timeout. 11:47 to go in the first half between the Eagles and the RedHawks. And this game hasn't seen a whole ton of offense. It's 13-13. We're back to Millett Hall after this. You're listening to the Miami Classic here on Red Hawk Radio.
Sleepless nights, you wake me up when the sun goes down. I can't help it, baby, not myself when the sun goes down.
Back here at Millett Hall, Luke West Poley and Will Summers with you for game one of the Miami Classic. Miami RedHawks, Coppin State Eagles, Eastern Illinois Panthers here on the men's side this weekend. Each team will play the other two. For Coppin State, they'll be in action today and tomorrow before heading home. Eastern Illinois playing Saturday and Sunday, Miami Friday and Sunday this weekend. 11:47 to go first half. Our score tied up at 13. RedHawks with the ball and 24 on the shot clock coming out of the timeout. Turnovers have been poor for Miami. They've been getting dominated a little bit in their own paint, but some poor shooting outside has let this game be tied. Right wing three from Darwishi Hunter is airballed well short following the inbound, and the rebound is picked up by Priest Ryan for the Eagles. Carried across the timeline. This is Ryan Archie with the left-handed dribble for Coppin State, rocking the green Nikes. Switches over to the right hand, dribbling on the left wing. Up straight away for Arion Jones. It got poked away from him, but he recovers it right in front of the Miami bench. Now on the near side, another contested three is taken by Winston, and it's off the back of the rim, no good. Rebound by Bryce Boltman for the RedHawks. Going the other way, now Bradley Dean has it on the far side. Back for Boltman into the left corner. A pass got hit off the leg of Darwishi Hunter. Ball is loose on the floor. It's picked up by Coppin State's Arion Jones, and he outlets it to his teammate Priest Ryan, who takes it the other way. Handoff comes to Archie, trying to slash into the paint left elbow. He's forced back outside by Dean. Ball swirls around to the far side of the court where Winston will hand it, and a three is spotted up by Horton. It's off the backboard and off the front of the rim. It's rebounded by Dean for the RedHawks. We're still tied up at 13 with 10:38 to go in the first half. Evan Ipsaro on the right wing, jabs, cuts across just inside the arc straight away, finds Hunter. Now it's bounced into the low block. A pass from the RedHawks, Jaquel Morris, looking to go to the far corner, was tipped out of bounds. RedHawks will keep it here. 13 to shoot and 10:28 to go in the first half, tied up at 13.
Well, Miami, the benefactors of a lot of bad shots from Coppin State early on today. Miami just has not found their groove offensively at all, and it's shown through 7 turnovers so far today. They're going to have to keep up this really great shooting, or else it might be a rough night for the RedHawks.
Quick inbound comes to Hunter. He heads into the paint, now feeds Boltman near side. Three-pointer, you bet. Bryce Boltman hits a three, and the three-point shooting is really keeping Miami in this game right now. They're 4 for 7 from deep. 10:13 to go first half, 16-13 RedHawks. Nice move by Archie to get inside, steps back with a long two, and he hits it. Man, Ryan Archie, the freshman, looks to be the most athletic player on this roster for Coppin State. And he knocks it in for his second bucket. 16-15, past the halfway mark of the first half. RedHawks in the lead by 1. Ipsaro on the left side, slings it over for Mabry. Took a while for him to control it, but now he has it just left of the key, and we'll go back out to the logo for Ipsaro. 6 to shoot. Ipsaro no-look pass near side for Boltman. Drives down low. Boltman kicks back outside. Ipsaro deep left wing three. He's got it. Evan Ipsaro with his second three-pointer, and the RedHawks lead by 4 with 9:26 to go. Winston fades from 10 feet, and that comes off the inside of the rim. No good. Rebound by Boltman for the RedHawks. Quickly the other way. Hunter open for three from the right wing. In and out. Rebound tapped up in the air by Mabry. Back into the hands of Hunter. Bullet down low, and the slam from Jaquel Morris.
Wow, what an offensive possession from Miami. Timeout, Coppin State, and yeah, they needed one right there. Offense looks completely out of funk, and Miami's starting to catch a groove.
Really the first time this season we have seen the RedHawks click that efficiently on both ends of the floor, as Miami gets a couple of buckets with an offensive rebound in between. And with 9:07 to go, Coppin State forced to call their first time out of the opening half. 21-15, the RedHawks in front. And first-year head coach Larry Stewart will try to settle his team down.
It's going to be interesting to see what Larry Stewart decides to do with big number 35, Justin Winston. Really feels like he's hurting Coppin State more than he's helping them out there right now. A lot of bad shots, a lot of poor drives to the rack. And Miami's defense, again, have been the benefactors of a lot of poor shots. Miami's taking advantage of it pretty nicely, finding themselves in a 6-point lead.
Right now, Winston is 0 for 4 from the floor, and like you mentioned, Will, he's taken a couple just really questionable type of shots that kind of puzzle you early on in the shot clock. He's been blanketed. They've been from very deep. He's kind of a big man. Don't think he's much of a three-point shooter. He's shooting 25% from deep this year, but has not hit anything yet tonight. Out of the timeout, Coppin State has it on the offensive end of the floor. Archie goes up top for Fag Bentley. Native of England will hand it off. Left wing three comes up in the air from Williams, and it clatters away. A rebound by Ryan Mabry for the RedHawks. Pass comes across the timeline on the left wing for Evan Ipsaro. He gets a screen, but will head around it for Darwishi Hunter, and now just give it to him on a short pass on the center court logo. Right-hand dribble for Hunter, now over for Boltman on the left wing. Back up top, Jackson Katecki to the near side for Ryan Mabry. 10 to shoot, Mabry crosses over just inside the arc, feeds Boltman, deep three from the left wing, too strong. And Katecki going after it, caught some contact. The ball goes out of bounds, and he got the last touch. It'll go to Coppin State, I believe, here. Although the shot clock has been reset to 20, it will now be put up to 30. And it will go to the Eagles with 8:25 to go. 21-15, Miami leads here in the first half.
I was really impressed with how Katecki played against Texas State a couple days ago. He really, the freshman's really impressed me so far this year. Kind of expect him to get a little bit more minutes against Texas State, but it wasn't the case with Coach Travis Steele. But hopefully see a lot of minutes tonight and against Eastern Illinois in a couple days.
Katecki with 8 points in the opener. He's perfect from the field against Evansville. Near side three is taken by Williams, and it's short, and then comes up and hits the shot clock above the basket. And Coppin State continuing to just not get these shots to fall. The Eagles are now 0 for 7 from three-point land. And Miami gets the ball back here, leading 21-15 with 8:10 to go in the first half. Boltman inbounds for Ipsaro, who gives it right back, and Boltman will carry it across the timeline over the logo. Ipsaro now has it just right at the M and will carry on to the M. Ipsaro to the left side, now put down low for Katecki, and his shot got blocked on the combo effort. Ronnie Williams was there for Coppin State. Now on the near side, Winston shuffled his feet, and that's going to be a travel. And the Eagles will cough it up once again, as Miami will get the ball sent back their way. Another turnover for Coppin State. That's their 5th. And with 7:50 to go, we have reached a timeout on the floor here in the first half. 21-15, the RedHawks out in front. We'll return to Millett Hall after this. You're listening to Miami men's basketball here on Red Hawk Radio.
I'm taking control.
$7:50 to go first half here from Millett Hall. Lucas Poley and Will Summers with you. 21-15 is the Miami lead, and the RedHawks will have it coming out of the timeout following the travel call. Well, we were talking a little bit during the break. This is a Coppin State team that just does not look good at all on the offensive end of the floor. They put up more shots than Miami has, 22 from the field for the Eagles to the RedHawks 16, but shooting 31.8% right now and 0 for 7 from deep, and these looks have not looked good here for the Eagles. Across the timeline on the left wing, it is Makai Cooper for the RedHawks. Crossover dribble on the right side. Up to the top of the key for Mabry. Couldn't put up a three as Spurlock was right in his face. Puts it down low instead for Morris. Now back up top for Cooper. Cooper's got to pull it back down. 11 to shoot. At the top of the key, he goes over just left of the key now for Mabry. Now on the right elbow, this is Morris. 5 left on the shot clock. Morris had it pulled away, but he traveled in the process. RedHawks might have been fortunate there. That was probably a fast break bucket had that travel not been called. to turnover nonetheless, and the RedHawks will give it back to Coppin State with 7:25 to go first half, up 21-15.
Well, Luke, we mentioned Miami really the only factor keeping Coppin State in this ball game with the 8 total turnovers compared to Coppin State's 4. They just got to stop turning over the ball, and, man, Coppin State won't get as many shot attempts up.
Malik Battle having some trouble getting around Makai Cooper. Now he'll outlet over for Sparrow. RedHawks wanted to travel, but they won't get it. Sparrow leaping up to catch a pass now on the near side, working against Ryan Mabry. 10 to shoot, and there is no penetration on this possession for Coppin State. Racing to the far side, Winston gets into the paint, throws it down low. Shot put up by Sparrow, got blocked, and it's picked up by Cooper for the RedHawks. They go the other way. Right wing, Mabry fakes the three, heads into the paint, tries to put something up, and he got fouled, it looks like, on the reach-in. And the RedHawks will inbound from the baseline. Both teams have done really well in this first half in limiting their fouls. That's just the third team foul. It's on Spurlock. That's his first for Coppin State. 6:50 to go first half. With Miami leading 21-15, they got the inbound. Jaquel Morris gets it on the MAC logo. Dishes it off backward for Boltman. Now Cooper outside trying to bounce it down low for Morris, and he let him too much. It rolls out the baseline, and we'll go back to the Eagles with 6:43 to go in the first.
Well, we're able to see kind of the philosophy of this Coppin State team, really just get as many shots up as you can. A lot of quick possessions and a lot of bailout of Miami's defense so far today.
Battle carrying with the left hand. Bounces it on the right side for Sparrow, trying to throw it down low in the low block for Winston, and it missed him. Goes at the baseline, and sloppy play continuing on both ends of the floor. 6:29 to go first half, 21-15 the score for Miami. Bradley Dean back onto the floor for the RedHawks, replacing Ryan Mabry. Makai Cooper running the point for Miami. Cooper across the timeline on the left wing, throws a shoulder into Malik Battle to get some space. Now carries to the right side. Cooper throws a bullet down low, finds Morris wide open, and he slams it down with two hands. Jaquel Morris's second dunk of the game. And the RedHawk big now has 4 points. 23-15 Miami, 6:06 to go first half. Winston outside the arc over for Battle. Now back to Winston, takes a long contested two, but he got it. That ended a long scoreless streak of nearly 4 minutes for Coppin State. That cuts it to a 23-17 ball game with 5:50 to go in the first half. Cooper up to the MAC logo for Jaquel Morris. Comes down after a high leap with the basketball in his hands. Now he hands it back for Dean. Outside, Hunter goes over left wing for Boltman. Drives baseline, forced back outside. Now he spins, trying to get to the edge of the paint. He gets fouled as Battle was working on him. That's a big little mismatch there for the RedHawks. Can't take advantage on the bucket, but they do draw the foul. Second foul on Battle. Fourth team foul for Coppin State with 5:36 to go in the first half, leading 23-17. Miami will inbound from the offensive baseline.
Both teams really done a really good job of staying out of foul trouble. Coppin State's 4 fouls, Miami's 3. No team really even close to the bonus with 5:36 left.
Ipsaro quickly down low for Boltman, and he throws it up and under off the glass for 2. RedHawks steal a quick bucket, and they've got the largest lead of the game at 8. Harrison trying to carry it across the court, and a charge is drawn by Evan Ipsaro, an offensive foul. Nice job away from the ball there by Evan Ipsaro, who draws the foul, and RedHawks will get the ball back here, leading 25-17 with 5:27 to go in the first half. Ipsaro running the point, carries it across the left wing. Hands over for Hunter, circles, finds a wide open Boltman breaking across, and he lays it in with the left hand. Boltman has gotten lost down there a couple of times by this interior defense for Coppin State. Now it's Harrison carrying it across the timeline on the right wing. 27-17 the lead for Miami with 5:05 to go in the first. Just inside the arc on the right side, Ryan throws it down low. Wild shot put up in traffic by Winston, and he scores. Winston's got 4 points in the first half after a cold start. He was 0 for 7 to begin the game from the field, or 0 for 4, I should say, and since 2 for 2. Dean has it, bounces back outside. Jaquel Morris now along the baseline, tosses it back out for Hunter. Scoop pass to the right wing for Ipsaro. Now back over for Hunter. Deep left wing 3 off the mark. Rebound batted outside by Dean, but it falls into the hands of Winston. It throws a bullet to the far side for Coppin State, and Greg Spurlock will settle it down. 27-19 the lead for Miami. 4:25 to go in the first half. Winston has it. New Jersey native feeds into the corner for Sparrow. Now back up top, this is Ryan. Ryan goes baseline, throwing it off the glass by Spurlock. He missed it right, and the rebound by Hunter for the RedHawks. Dean into the corner for Ipsaro, fakes the 3 jack up and will pull it back down. And dribble with the right hand back out towards half court. Ipsaro will call a play. 4 minutes to play first half. RedHawks leading by 8. Ipsaro into the corner for Hunter. Circles, now gives back to Ipsaro right of the key. Into the right corner now for Dean. Back out for Ipsaro. Over for Boltman in the corner. He tries to slash into the paint, throws his head back and gets fouled. And that will be the 6th team foul on Coppin State. RedHawks will have one more inbound and will be shooting the rest of the way. And that comes on the other side of this media timeout. 3:51 to go in the first half here from Millett Hall. And our score, Miami 27 and Coppin State 19. Stay with us. You're listening to Miami men's basketball on Red Hawk Radio. .351 to go in the first half. Miami leading 27-19. Andrew Relvas has your halftime report coming up at the break as he breaks down stats and analysis from our opening half. Takes a look at the national scoreboard and a packed game of college basketball. Feast week begins here in college basketball. It's always an exciting time around Thanksgiving. Millett Hall crowd has had a little bit of a damper put in it after the Let's Make a Deal promotion was run during the media timeout break, and a student gave up on free pizza for a semester in favor of winning a pop socket unbeknownst to them. And it was highly recommended that she took box 2, but
it's demoralizing.
Sometimes you got to go against the masses. 3:51 to go in the first half. Miami leading 27-19, and Bryce Boltman will inbound from the offensive front court for the RedHawks. Ipsaro has it now on the left wing for Miami. Ipsaro will bounce it into the left corner for Dean. Now back out for Ipsaro. Now Hunter over to the right corner for Boltman. Boltman cuts across. Now back outside for Hunter with 5 to shoot. Boltman now spots up from the right side, and he hits the 3. Bryce Boltman really heating up. He struggled to shoot the ball in the first couple of games, but the RedHawks really feel that he's going to be a leader. He's got 10 now here in the first half, and the RedHawks lead at 30-19. Carrying down the right lane, Ryan still with it, right of the paint, pushes it back outside for Jones. Jones jabs, now goes around the arc for Winston. Winston over to the corner for Harrison, 9 to shoot. Harrison spins, goes back out for Horton, and he traveled trying to make his way in. And things unraveling a bit here for Coppin State as this lead has grown to 11 for Miami, and the RedHawks are beneficiaries of another turnover with 3:07 to go in the first half. It's 30-19 RedHawks, and that is now the 8th turnover for Coppin State in half number 1. Ipsaro spinning away from the defender. That's Harrison, the Philadelphia native, transfer from St. Francis, Pennsylvania. Slung over to Dean on the far side. He fakes the mid-range jumper, now goes back to the top of the key for Ipsaro. Jumping pass into the corner for Boltman. Heat check, you got it. Bryce Boltman, 13 points in the first half. That's his 3rd tray, and the RedHawks lead by 14. Harrison trying to drive into the paint. It's stripped away by Hunter, and he gets fouled.
Well, Luke, you mentioned the impact of Bryce Boltman, really invaluable. If the RedHawks are able to get a secondary spot-up shooter to complement Darwishi Hunter, it's going to make all the difference as we head towards the end of non-conference play, as we really start to get this year going.
Darwishi Hunter will head to the line to shoot the 1-and-1, 2:34 to go in the first half, 33-19, Miami leads. Yeah, like you said, Bryce Boltman was a guy that the coaching staff was really, really high on. He's a grad transfer from McKendree. program that had never made an NCAA tournament at the Division II level before he was there, and then they did it twice with Boltman as the captain. Hunter's first free throw put up and in, and that stretches the Miami lead out to 34-19. Boltman really struggled in that opening game against Evansville. You could tell that Miami was trying to run through him, but he just couldn't get those shots to fall. Similar for him against Texas State, but starting to find that shooting rhythm here tonight. Second free throw short off the front of the rim, and it's rebounded by Coppin State as Winston comes down with it for the Eagles. 2:27 to go, first half. 37-19 the lead for the RedHawks, the largest of the game. Between the legs on the dribble, Ryan Archie working on the freshman Makai Cooper for the RedHawks. Hands on the right side for Horton. Makes his way up to the key. Ball got tapped away. Now it's loose on the floor. Diving after it. Cooper couldn't get to it, and Archie picks it up and gets fouled, as it looked like Bryce Boltman reached in there, and he does get the foul. That's his second 14th foul for the RedHawks, and with 2:12 to go, fresh 20 seconds for the Eagles to work with on the offensive end.
Just a sluggish start for the Eagles offensively. To put it into perspective, their largest lead of the game is 3 against the RedHawks today. The largest lead prior to that in the 4 games they've played this year, 1. That was the largest lead they've had all year, has been 1 point. So you can see how deep the Eagles' offensive woes have really cut through.
This team is ranked 360th out of 362 teams according to KenPom coming into tonight. Just inside the arc on the right wing, Winston jabs, spins off Morris with 9 to shoot. Ball loose on the floor. Winston spins it around, somehow gets it back, but his pass to the near side intended for Jones, intercepted by Dean. He finds Mabry driving ahead, throws up a wild shot, but he gets fouled. And Ryan Mabry will head to the free throw line to shoot 2 with 1:52 remaining in our first half, and the RedHawks leading by 15. 34-19 RedHawks in the late goings of the opening frame. Ryan Mabry, pretty good free throw shooter, 88% last year. Mabry will shoot 2 at the line. RedHawks have been a little bit tough from the free throw line this season compared to last year. First free throw swirls in for Mabry, and that extends upon the RedHawks lead. It's now a 16-pointer for Miami.
Well, RedHawks shooting 54% from 3. Obviously, that's not going to continue just by the law of large numbers, but if they're able to get out to a pretty sizable lead against this Eagles squad, they'll set themselves up nicely as we head into the second half of play.
Mabry hits the second free throw. It's a 17-point lead for the RedHawks with 1:47 to go in the first half. 36-19, Miami in the driver's seat. Williams circles to the top of the key. Now this is Horton. Pivoting around on the right side, he finds Archie. Little shimmy shake, drives down low, up and under off the glass. It won't go. Rebound, putback falls off the front of the rim, but the foul is called as Winston got the second effort shot, and he will head to the free throw line for Coppin State. Man, Will, I am really impressed with Ryan Archie. He hasn't had a whole ton of minutes in this game. He's only averaging 3.5 points this season, but he looks far and away to be the best offensive player for Coppin State.
Well, he's quick, athletic, and he just does everything right offensively that we've seen so far today. And he's playing with an offense that really has not a whole lot of structure. As we mentioned, Justin Winston leading all Coppin State players in shot attempts, and he just has not looked the part so far today.
Winston bricks the first free throw, second on the way, and it clatters in. 36-20, the lead for Miami with 90 seconds to go in the first half. Makai Cooper carries it across the timeline down the center of the court for the RedHawks. Bounces over to the left elbow, extended for Morris. Morris bounces down low. Elmer swirling, throws it down with the right hand. Oh, Ian Elmer, we've seen that talent before. He's been on the SC Top 10 a couple of times. The local kid from Taft High School with the one-hander, and Miami's up 18. A handoff on the far side, nearly got across the timeline as Jones gets it just before the backcourt with under a minute to play. Jones gets down low, slings near wing. Archie pulls it back down, now up top, fake shot by Horton. He hauls one up, and it bricked off the back iron, no good. Morris's pass to the far side's tip, but still finds Dean, numbers the other way. Left wing 3 from Ryan Mabry, off the mark. Elmer nearly came down with the rebound, but it fell away from him at the last moment, and it's picked up by Winston for Coppin State. Shot and game clock separated by 10 seconds, 31 seconds remaining in the first half. Settled down by Archie for Coppin State. Looks like the Eagles are going to work as much of this clock as they can before they try to do something. On the left front court, Archie with the left-handed dribble goes between the legs, working on Mabry. Crosses up, spots up for 3. Too strong, rebound by Jaquel Morris for Miami. Shot clock off, 11 seconds to go. RedHawks turn it over. Shot comes up from the right side, and it's no good by Horton. Rebound picked up by Dean for the RedHawks. He goes the other way from Mabry with 2 seconds left on the clock. His attempt is no good. Elmer cleans up the rebound, and he got it to go at the buzzer. There was some confusion as the shot clock never reset. The coaching staff for Coppin State is none too thrilled with it, but as it stands, Ian Elmer's put back at the buzzer puts Miami up by a 40-20 count at the halftime break, and things really got better for the RedHawks as this first half went along. Nothing says that more, I don't think, than that highlight reel dunk by Ian Elmer with just over a minute to play.
I mean, we've been able to see flashes of how athletic the freshman from Taft is, and really, look, I was more dumbfounded by how just wild that half ended, as Coppin State threw up a prayer because they thought the shot clock was rolling down because the shot clock never reset. Really, I mean, as an unbiased spectator, not really a great job by the officials as the shot clock did expire. But Miami, the benefactors, will take it as Miami 20-point lead to get to halftime. They really have not been in the driver's seat, as you mentioned, like this all year long.
Yeah, Coppin State coaching staff was really not happy with the officiating crew. Just for context, as Will mentioned, Coppin State had a shot that didn't go with about 15 seconds left on the clock. The RedHawks got the rebound and then trying to go quick the other way. A pass that I believe was looking for Makai Cooper got intercepted, but the shot clock never reset. And so Horton had it on the far side, and the shot clock read 1, so he just chucked up a deep 3, and it hit off the back of the rim. And the RedHawks came down with it, able to go the other end of the floor, and a stretch pass to Ryan Mabry. Couldn't hit the initial layup, but Ian Elmer cleaned it up at the buzzer. And the play will stand after some discussion. The Coppin State coaching staff seemed to calm down and be okay with things. And so at halftime, our score, Miami 40 and Coppin State 20. Time for our halftime report. We send things over to Andrew Relvas as Will and I are back for the second half in just a bit. Stay with us. Andrew, take it away.
Thank you, Luke and Will. Welcome to the RedHawk Radio Halftime Show. My name is Andrew Relvas, and I'm breaking down everything Miami men's basketball related versus the Coppin State Eagles. Now, to start the game, it was a pretty sloppy game, both sides. It was kind of back and forth throughout the first couple minutes, and really no side kind of could surpass each other. The RedHawks had it for a moment, and then Coppin State, they were putting up a lot of shots on the inside, but really started that middle of the first half and kind of towards the end, that's where we saw the RedHawks that we all know from last year, and they showed a lot of energy. Can't forget about Ian Elmer, I apologize. He's been playing really well, and yeah, only a freshman. He's playing some great ball. That's exactly what the RedHawks got to see. He's a very athletic kid, and he's playing exceptionally for Miami. He has 6 points, 1 a rebound, but he's been playing very strong. I'll give you the comparisons. The RedHawks struggled with rebounds in their last game against Texas State. They lead that category 19-16. They're being out-rebounded on the offensive end, 8-4, but on the defensive end, the RedHawks are all over that one, 15-8. RedHawks are way ahead in the assist category, 13-2 on top of the Eagles. They're really finding some open shots. That's exactly how the RedHawks have made their bread and butter by shooting some threes. They are 7 for 14 from three-point land. That's exactly the RedHawks that this home crowd wants to see. The first game against Evansville, they shot 10 for 20 on the road from 3. And, you know, if they keep shooting like the way they've been shooting, they're going to definitely surpass that from the first game mark. And you got to love the way the RedHawks have just been dishing the ball. They've been very unselfish, and they've been finding all the right shots. It's perfect for Travis Steele's group. That's exactly what you want to see, and they continue to stay strong. In terms of turnovers, both sides have 10. The RedHawks, they've had double-digit turnovers in all their games, and Coppin State, same scenario, all but one. They played in 4 games, 3 games of double-digit turnovers. So that story will continue. It was mostly due to kind of some sloppy play towards the first half of the first half, the first 10 minutes of the first half. But after that, you know, the RedHawks clean it up, and They're playing very, very strong. And in terms of foul, Coppin State got into the bonus. Or I apologize, Miami got into the bonus. Coppin State was fouling too much, 8-5. And fouling situation right now, Ryan has 2, Battle has 2. And Boltman has 2 as well. So that'll be something to keep an eye on for the RedHawks and the Eagles. In terms of leading the scoring opportunities, leading the scoring for the RedHawks, it is Bryce Boltman, 13 points, 5 for 7 from the floor, 3 for 4 from 3. The big man can sling it. He's playing really well for the RedHawks. The transfer from McKendree, he's playing really well. Leading the rebounding is Jaquel Morris and Bradley Dean. Both those 2 players are playing really well for Miami, the sophomore and the freshman. RedHawks needed youth last year, and they have it this year. Looking very strong on that front. Darwishi Hunter leading the RedHawks in assists with 4, and there are currently 5 RedHawks with steals. All 5 of them have 1. Ipsaro, Morris, Boltman, Hunter, and Dean. And Jaquel Morris leading the block party with 2 for the Coppin State Eagles. Leading the scoring, it is Spurlock with 6. He's 3 for 5 from the floor. And they are currently 0 for 10 from three-point land. That's how the RedHawks have been able to get in front of them. You got to make your three-point shots in college. You know, things can turn on really the flick of a dime. And yeah, it's just tough. If you're not making those three-point shots, it's going to be a long night for you, and it's definitely been that way to this point. But continue on that note, Winston, he's played 14 minutes. That leads the Eagles. He's had a tough night. He started out 0 for 7, but he made a few shots here and there. He leads the charge with 6 rebounds. He was the leading scorer a few nights ago, and yeah, I mean, if your leading scorer is kind of going up and down, you're going to have some problems. You need a consistent veteran like Winston to pick it up, and he has not had it to this point. But we'll see it. There's plenty of basketball left to go. He can definitely clean that up for the Birds. In terms of assists, Ryan and Battle, they each have 1. It's been pretty tough finding some even distributors. In terms of steals, Spurlock and Jones, they each have 2. In blocks, Fagbin has 1. In terms of shooting percentages, Coppin State shooting 9 for 30, 30% from the floor. RedHawks there, much better, 15 for 26. They're finding the right shots and making the right open shots. That was a big factor in the first half. The RedHawks, they continue to find some great three-point shooters, especially in Boltman. Hunter knocked down 1. He's 1 for 5. Feels like he's not, but he's really playing well for Miami. Ipsaro has 2, along with Mabry and 1. The score is 40-20 at the half. I'll quickly go through the scoreboard from across the nation, and then keys of the game for the Miami RedHawks versus the Coppin State Eagles. How can the RedHawks fly away in this one and get their first win of the year? In the terms of the Mid-American Conference scores from across the Midwest, NIU won on top of Georgia State already, 70-64. Nutter led the charge for the Huskies, 22 points and 6 rebounds. At the half, Bowling Green is trailing Bellarmine at home in BG, 29-21. We'll see if the Falcons can get it together and get win number 3 on the year. One more Mid-American Conference game. It's Kent State hosting Hampton. Kent State blowing out Hampton 83-55. That one's going to win for the Golden Flashes. They'll improve to 3-1 at the end of the night. Have the top 25 matchups here. I'll go through a rapid-fire style for you at home. Number 9 ranked Duke on top of Bucknell, 88-56. That one's going to end. The Duke Blue Devils are going to win, and they're going to continue the charge in the ACC. Butler currently trailing Michigan State on the road, 41-29. The Spartans trying to shake off a slow start. Looks like they're, so far to this point, they're gonna do it. 15:36 left to go in the second half. We'll see if Sparty and Ryan Izzo can do it. Tom Izzo can get it going. Number 17 ranked Kentucky Wildcats winning 58-37 at the half. They're playing well, and the Wildcats trying to get win number 3. Radford currently leading James Madison, the Dukes, 39-35 in Cancun, the Cancun Challenge. James Madison 3-0, trying to improve to 4-0. Currently 24 ranked team in the nation. Oral Roberts and Texas A&M. That one's gonna take off at 8 p.m. The Aggies are 3-0 on the year. And a few more games in the 8 o'clock slate. UNC Greensboro versus Arkansas, 14 ranked Razorbacks trying to win. Number 4, UC Riverside on the road at UNC. 20th ranked Tar Heels. That'll take off at 8 o'clock. Alabama hosting Mercer. See if the Crimson Tide can get win number 4. Valparaiso on the road at Illinois. See if the Fighting Illini can improve to 3-1 on 8 o'clock. Maryland at Villanova, 21 ranked Wildcats trying to get win number 3 in Villanova. Belmont at Arizona. Wildcats trying to improve to 4-0 and get their 4th win and their 3rd win at home. We'll see if they can do so. That'll be at 11 o'clock. And then 2 games that already concluded. Miami took down Georgia 79-67. Houston won against Utah 76-66. That'll bring us to the keys to the game. How can the Miami RedHawks take down the Coppin State Eagles? Well, it's got to start with the turnovers. The RedHawks, they have 10 turnovers. They've struggled with turnovers. They had 34 turnovers entering tonight's game. The RedHawks have to be careful with the basketball. But, you know, you lead by 20. And what's one way where you can get your opponent back into the game and get their mentality up? It's those careless, stupid turnovers. The RedHawks have to be careful with the rock, and they got to just make the right shots, make the smart plays. They can't force anything. You know, it's a little bit easier to say than do it, but we shall see how Travis Steele and his group decides to put up the pressure against Coppin State. And if I'm Miami here, I'm just going back to the three-point shooting. They're 7 for 14 from 3. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. 7 for 14, that is a tough task to do, but you know, they've been making shots with regularity, especially with Bryce Boltman, the grad transfer from McKendree. You know, you keep going to the senior there. He's got veteran-osity all throughout his college career, and he just keeps playing the way that the RedHawks need him to go. It'll be a pretty easy night for Miami. And they also lead the assist category by a wide margin. So, you know, you just got to find those easy passes, and it should be a pretty easy second half for Miami if kind of the tape continues here for Miami versus Coppin State. And for the Eagles, you know, it was a tough first half. They are 0 for 10 on three-point shooting. They also have 10 turnovers. They have to find the right shots. They got to make the right passes. They trail in the assist category. They only have 2 assists. The RedHawks have 13. They're really targeting a wide variety of Hawks on this roster. And, you know, Coppin State, they have a lineup where they decide to put on a bunch more players. I'm seeing 4 or 5 more players registered more than the RedHawks. You know, if you have that many players, you got to find a formula. You got to find a winning formula that'll get all the players involved. And we'll see, you know, 20 minutes left of basketball here at Millett Hall. It should be interesting. And we'll see which version of the RedHawks we get in this half. But overall, just a phenomenal shooting performance in the first half. 7 for 14 from 3. We'll see if that continues here at home. Well, that is the halftime show. My name is Andrew Relvas. I'll be here for the postgame show to see if the RedHawks can get their first win of the year on the 2023-24 slate. That's going to do it. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm turning it over to Luke and Will.
Andrew, thanks very much. 40-20 our score at the halftime break between Miami and Coppin State as both teams go for their first win of the season. And it was a tale of two halves of the first half, you could say, between these two teams. RedHawks close out over the final 10 minutes and 8 seconds of that first half on a 24-5 run. And Coppin State 0 for 10 from beyond the arc in that first half of play. And Will, part of that can be attributed to some tough luck, but a lot of that can be contributed to what the shots are that Coppin State is taking right now. Less than ideal looks might be an understatement for what Coppin State has gone after on the offensive end of the floor. It almost looks like a pickup style offense at times for this Eagle team, and really just a tough first half for them. Obviously they're down on the scoreboard by 20, but just have not had anything go right for them, and a lot of it of their own doing on the offensive half of the floor.
Well, I remember watching an interview with old UC basketball coach Mick Cronin as I was growing up, and his big message was always take pride in the shots you take. And to say, if you would tell me that Coppin State's taking a lot of pride in the shots they're taking, I would call you a liar, because they are just, it just seems like they're playing, as you mentioned, just pick up basketball out there, not really having a lot of rhythm to their offense. And as we see, Miami has a message for their huddle, shoot open threes.
It's
And
a shoot open three sign with
the way it's going right now,
decorations on it.
the way the RedHawks shooting three ball right now, I don't blame them at all.
They're 7 for 14 in that first half from deep, 15 for 26 from the floor, 57.7%. The sign is stylized. The open is an open sign. There's a Jordan shoe, a picture of Jason Tatum. I couldn't tell. The other one was a player wearing a white jersey with black and red lettering. I couldn't tell if it was
Dame Dalla,
either
perhaps?
Dame Dalla or Darwishi Hunter, one of the two.
Either way,
Both
solid three-point shooters in their own right.
RedHawks got the arrow. They got possession coming into this second half, and Bryce Boltman puts it in for Evan Ipsar. We're underway here in the final 20 minutes, game one of the Miami Classic. The RedHawks leading Coppin State 40-20. Down low, this is Bryce Boltman. Fades from 10 feet, scores, and gets the foul.
Well, we were wondering how long it was going to take Boltman to kind of figure out his role in this Miami offense, and if you guessed game three, you'd be correct, because he's come alive so far today.
15 points for Bryce Boltman, the grad transfer from McKendree, and a chance to complete the three-point play at the charity stripe. First attempt for Boltman of the game, and he knocks it in off the back of the rim. RedHawks leading by 23. That's the largest lead of the game, 15 seconds into the second half. For Coppin State, battle controlling on the far side with Makai Cooper right in front of him. Right-hand pass goes for Ryan, combo guard and forward. He's got it top of the key. Now to the left of the paint. He'll hand it off in the left corner for Spurlock. Boltman giving him no air. 8 left on the shot clock. Around the arc, ball comes to the near side, immediately back where it came from. Spurlock just has to chuck up a three, but he got it.
Well, it's one of those ones.
Nearly a turnover by the RedHawks, but they'll keep control of it as Ipsaro carries it up quickly. Will slow down, throw out for Morris, back outside for Boltman. Boltman waves Ipsaro back inside with 19:03 to go in the game. 43-23 Miami leads in the corner, wide open. Ipsaro tosses it up from deep, and it rolls off the rim, no good. Rebound by Battle for Coppin State. Spurlock over the timeline on the left wing, and Ipsaro draws another offensive foul. Nice job by Ipsaro. That's his second. And the foul will be on Fagbinley for Coppin State. Sorry to cut you off there a moment ago, Will.
I was just going to mention Spurlock. That's kind of the one of those rare offense possessions where kind of the erratic style of offense works out well in Coppin State's favor, and then they come down the next possession and they get a moving screen violation. So really it's one of those teams that you never know what to expect when they come down the floor.
43-23 to score with Miami in front. Boltman tried to pull it back and shoot from deep, but he took too long. Now he drives inside, pass back outside for Hunter. Got tipped, but Hunter still finds it. Back for Boltman, drives baseline. It's swung around to the top of the key for Ipsaro. Bullet pass back outside, now in the right corner. Boltman for three, and it's in and out. Rebound by Coppin State. And Greg Spurlock. Now it's Harrison across the timeline with the right-hand dribble. Heads in front of his head coach, first-year man Larry Stewart. Top of the key, a low pass sent to the far corner by Ryan, but it's secured, and now Ryan gets it back top of the key. Driving left elbow, a high jump by Battle. He puts it up. The shot is no good. Rebounded offensively by Ryan. Left to the paint, working on Morris. Puts a shoulder into him, slings it near side. Harrison now driving baseline, tried to lay it off for Tekovic, and the ball was loose on the floor, and we get a foul. And it looks like, as of right now, this is on the RedHawks, and it will be on Evan Ipsaro.
The one thing you can't say about this Coppin State offense is they don't like being stationary at all. Whether it's taking shots, whether it's passing the ball, they're always moving. Whether that helps them or hurts them, you can't really tell, but they don't love being stationary at all.
Just over 2 minutes into the second half, 43-23, Miami leads. High ball sent into the paint by Tekovic, and a two-handed slam. Ryan missed it. He got both hands on the rim, but the ball didn't go through the hoop. And Coppin State comes up empty on that possession. Rebound by Boltman for the RedHawks. Now this is Ipsaro in the front court. Meanwhile, Ryan is getting the business from the brick wall. The Miami student section right behind us. Bryce Boltman right of the paint. Puts a shoulder into the defender. Turns around, throws it off the glass and puts it in. Little flare on the end of it for Bryce Boltman. 18 points for the grad transfer. Miami leads by 22. Driving down the left side, Harrison had it pried away, but they'll say a foul as player got handsy there for Miami. Fouls on Makai Cooper for the RedHawks, and that will be his first and the team's second of the second half. Cooper comes out in favor of Ryan Mabry with 17:15 to go in this second half. Coppin State trailing Miami by a 45-23 count.
Well, it's one of those defense possessions for Makai Cooper where the reaching was just really unnecessary. The Coppin State player came in with a head of fire, and he was off balance completely, and there was a chance that Boltman was able to draw a charge, but not to be.
Harrison has it now for Coppin State. Philadelphia native on the right wing, crossing up on Boltman. Feeds over to the right corner for Jones. Now a one-hand sling back up top for Tekovic. Tekovic, the big European big, hands it off down low for Harrison. Tried to scoop it, and he just rolled it along the floor. And looks like that ball hit the baseline, and it did. Coppin State will turn it over here with 16:58 to go in the second half.
Well, I didn't foresee Coppin State catching Miami in turnovers, but it's exactly what they've done. Both teams knotted up. Coppin State's now surpassed Miami with 12 turnovers.
Ipsaro with a jump pass for Boltman. Thought about the three, now drives into the left lane. Throws far side. Ipsaro goes high up in the air to prevent that from going into the Miami bench. Now he gets into the paint, lays it off for Morris, and he throws it down with two hands. What a find by Evan Ipsaro, behind the back bounce pass. And Jaquel Morris with his third dunk of the game. Those are all three of his field goals. 47-23, Miami leads with 16:24 to go in half number two. It's been a RedHawk dunk show tonight. Driving down the left lane, Ryan throws it up. It's off the glass, too strong. Rebound by Boltman for the RedHawks. Running quickly ahead, Boltman drives down the right lane, threads the needle, finds Ipsaro near wing. He pumps and pulls it back down. Backhanded bounce pass finds Boltman. He again thought about the three, but will instead drive on Tekovic. Now turn it around. He fades, jumps it up from 10 feet, and it's off the inside of the rim and out. Rebound by Jones for Coppin State. 47-23, Miami in front, under 16 minutes to go in the second half. Zari Harrison has it on the far side of the floor. Back up top for Luka Tekovic. 6'11" junior from Slovenia, transfer from Oral Roberts. Left side of the key, Priest Ryan lost it but regathers along the court with Bryce Boltman on him. He hands off for Jones on the far side of the floor. 7 to shoot. Tekovic up top. Morris right in his face, throws up a three. It rings off the rim and no good. Rebound picked up though down low by Sparrow, and he puts it off the glass and in for the second chance bucket. 47-25, Miami leading. Ipsaro carries it across the timeline and now finds Morris top of the key. Hunter just left of the key, throws up a three. It's off the front iron. Rebound comes right back to Jaquel Morris, crosses over, gets down the left lane, and expertly throws it in with the right hand. First non-dunk field goal for Jaquel Morris, and Miami leads it by 24, 49-25. RedHawks with an even 15 minutes to play. Ryan drives down the right lane, rises up from 10 feet. It rolls on the inside of the rim, no good. Rebound pulled off the floor by Jaquel Morris. Up ahead, he leads Ipsaro, catches some contact. Ipsaro goes around the defender, but he can't finish. And the rebound is pulled off by Ryan. Ipsaro quickly getting back, steps in front of Sparrow to slow him down, but he gets it across the timeline on the left wing. Two subs for Coppin getting ready to come in, three for the RedHawks. 14:37 to go second half. Miami leading 49-25. Bounce pass to the top of the key for Harrison with his back turn, cutting across to the left side. Hands it back up top for Ryan. Free throw line with his back turn. He feeds on the near side for Harrison. Now this is Jones, back over for Harrison, left of the key, throws up a long three, and it's in and out. Rebound by Boltman for the RedHawks.
Man, Luke, both teams look absolutely gassed. Need this media timeout more than anything.
Under 16 still hasn't happened yet. We've almost passed it by 2 minutes. 14:08 to go in the second half. If Pissarro throws his head back on the contact, he gets fouled. It'll be on Sparrow, and as you said it will, finally these teams get a much-deserved breather.
So do you, Luke.
I do as well. I'll get a chance to catch our breath. And we will head to break here with 14:06 to go in the second half. Breathe, breathe, breathe. 49-25, Miami leading Coppin State. We're back after this from Millett Hall. You're listening to Miami men's basketball here on Red Hawk Radio. 14:06 to go, second half. Miami leading 49-25. Will and I ran some wind sprints during that break, and we're all ready to go here courtside from Millett Hall. Thanks so much for joining us. We got plenty more coming your way this weekend. Tomorrow afternoon, the Miami women hit the hardwood here at Millett Hall for the first time this season. Glenn Bach's era starts with the home opener, as the Miami women have been on the road for a couple of games this season, but they will be at home against Western Kentucky tomorrow, 1 o'clock start here on Red Hawk Radio, and then we will carry the Coppin State Eastern Illinois men's game following that at 3:30. Make sure you tune in then. Red Hawks with possession out of the timeout. Bradley Dean left to the key. 6 seconds to shoot. Mabry now on the near side throws up a three. It's off the back iron and rolls over the basket and gets stuck on the support of the shot clock and the backboard.
It's a good old-fashioned wedgie, Luke.
That's a wedgie. That'll get the Sickos committee fired up.
Well, honestly, in that last timeout, if I'm Larry Stewart, I'm telling my boys, fellas, you're 1 for 13 from the three-point line. Obviously, something's not working. You got to work better possessions inside. Give yourself a chance in the paint, and if they want any chance to get back in the ball game, they got to stop pulling that three-point ball.
49-25, Miami leads. 13:36 to go, second half. Top of the key, Jones thought about the drive, pulls it back out. Now it's Horton with a quick first step, but again, he pulls it back outside. Now Winston over into the corner for Jones, drives baseline, and it's pulled away by Ian Elmer. He gets the steal, jumps up and finds Makai Cooper for the RedHawks, who carries across the timeline. No look pass to the near wing for Mabry. Floats it back out up top for Bradley Dean, and he'll settle it down. Dean, overhead pass to Cooper, right back to Dean on the far side of the front court, 15 to shoot. Now over for Mabry, open three from the right side, and he got it.
Well, Coppin State really just looks gassed, Luke. Almost every single player on this Coppin State team has gotten minutes, and really you think that held them out, but they just look like they just cannot keep up with the speed of Miami.
Three-pointer now put up on the far side, and it clatters in for Cameron Sparrow. Not a great look there. It was pretty contested, but Eagles finally get one to fall, just their second three-point bucket, and the lead is down to 52-28 for Miami with 12:38 to go. Makai Cooper on the left wing, back up for Bradley Dean. Deep three, and it's good. First points for Bradley Dean, the transfer from UVA Wise. Miami leads it by 27, 55-28 with 12:23 to go in the second half. Archie's crossover dribble, floated pass over for Horton. It pops up in the air, stolen away by Katecki. Katecki runs the floor and throws it down with the right hand. Jackson Katecki with his first college dunk, the freshman has Miami in front by 29 with just over 12 minutes to play. Archie on the right wing for Coppin State, drives just inside the arc, gets put out of bounds by Mackay Cooper as he got it away. It will stay with Coppin State, but that brings us to another media timeout, and Jackson Kitecki getting some love from his teammates, the freshman, with another in a long line of dunks for Miami this evening. It's all RedHawks with 11:59 to go in the second half. It's Miami 57 and Coppin State 28. We're back to Millett Hall after this for more from the Miami Classic. You're listening to Miami Men's Basketball on Red Hawk Radio. Poley and Will Summers back with you from Millett Hall. 11:59 to go in the second half. Miami leading 57-28. And for Coppin State, Will, you mentioned the amount of players that they like to use. Larry Stewart almost runs it hockey style on line changes. That's something he's done pretty much the whole year, but it feels like despite the amount of guys that are seeing the floor, you talked about it, pretty much everybody seems gassed, and it almost seems like they kind of counteract the amount of guys that see the floor. With the sporadicism of this offense, everybody looks really tired right now on the Coppin State side.
Well, I think for Larry Stewart, really in his first year, it's just trying to find a rhythm, trying to find 5 guys that can get you points. They haven't scored a lot so far this year in the 4 games, and just trying to find their identity offensively.
Coppin State has it out of the timeout and just no penetration. They've got 5 seconds left to shoot, but Spurlock with a lane to the basket. He throws up a layup. It's too short. Picked up by Darwishi Hunter, rolls it along the court ahead for Kitecki. He collects and throws it down with 2 hands. 2 straight dunks for Jackson Kitecki, the freshman, and Miami leads it by 31, 59-28. Nearly a steal for Ian Elmer on the other end of the floor. Now on the far side, it's Sparrow on the wing, back up top of the key for Spurlock. Circles around the arc and hands off for Battle, cutting across back top of the key. Push pass comes to the far side for Jones. Left-hand dribble, now back up top with 6 to shoot. Spurlock juts to the basket, passes back outside for Jones. Cutting across with 2 to shoot and 1 floats up a wild shot. It falls short of the basket. Elmer with the rebound, tried to throw it up in traffic. It got taken away, and the floater is put up and in by Justin Winston, who gets the steal.
Unfortunate for Miami as they had a guy falling out of bounds and tried to find Darwishi Hunter under the basket, just unable to. 2 RedHawks there, unable to come up with the defensive rebound.
59-30 the lead for the RedHawks with 10:37 to go, and Dean in the corner lost it. They'll say tipped out of bounds by Greg Spurlock for Coppin State, so the RedHawks will keep hold of it here. 10:36 to go in the second half, and Miami will bring on Bryce Boltman to replace Ian Elmer.
Well, the freshman in Elmer really played a really solid game so far today. I don't think that'll be the last time we see him, but out of the 7 freshmen Miami have on this roster, you got to figure a couple of them are going to make a really big impact this year.
Mackay Cooper and Evan Ipsaro both started this game for the RedHawks. Cooper's got the ball in his hands now. He goes over for Dean, now back for Cooper. Back up top for Dean. He's just going to take a deep right wing 3. It goes in and out. Rebound slapped outside by Kitecki, and Boltman has it for the RedHawks. Dean now fakes from the top of the key, swings it back out wide for Boltman. Right wing 3, and it's good. Bryce Boltman for 3, 21 points for number 25 in red from Nashville, Illinois. 62-30 RedHawks. Meanwhile, down low, Winston throws a shoulder into the defender and puts it in without any rim help. He'll go to the line to try and complete the and one as he gets the foul as well. And with 10:02 to go, Darwishi Hunter gets the foul. That's his first Third team foul as Jaquel Morris comes back in for Jackson Kentucky, and with the score 62-32 in favor of the RedHawks, Justin Winston will shoot the free throw to try and complete the three-point play.
Well, Luke, Justin Winston was catching a lot of flack, both from the fans here at Millett and kind of us throughout this whole broadcast, but he's really had a great end of the first half, start to the second half, and he's up to 9 points, now 10.
Puts it in. He's the first Coppin State player into double figures. He's their only player that averages in double figures this season. 11.8 points for the transfer from Robert Morris this year. Hunter on the left wing for Miami, bounces it down low. Now back up top. Cooper swings it in and throwing it off the glass. Jaquel Morris gets fouled. He had three players surrounding him and somehow got that shot up, and could say once he got above that pack, probably should have hit that, but he does get the foul as he got hit pretty hard on the arms, and he'll get a chance to shoot 2 free throws here. Miami leading 62-33 with 9:49 to go in the second half.
It is impressive to see just the feel that Makai Cooper has for the game, as the first one miss for Morris. But Cooper, I mentioned the feel that he has for the game. He absolutely zipped a pass down low to Morris on the low block, gave Morris just a chance to get a shot off and draw a foul.
Second free throw is put through by Morris, and the lead is back up to 30. 9 points for Jaquel Morris tonight. Places him second on the team, only to 21 by Boltman. Getting on the floor, it's tipped away by Cooper. It's secured again by Jones, but that fired up the Miami bench as Makai Cooper going to work on the defensive end. In the right corner, Jones drives baseline, throws a high ball that's pulled back down by Ryan outside. 6 to shoot. Winston drives down, pulls up left elbow extended. Off the back iron, rebound high in the air. It's hauled down by Boltman for the RedHawks. He finds Dean on the far side, runs it the other way. Left-handed dribble. Dean navigates, goes back out for Hunter. Now Boltman, he'll slash across the paint, right elbow back outside for Hunter. An offensive foul is called as Boltman mowed over Arion Jones there for Coppin State. And Bryce Boltman will pick up another personal foul. It was announced over the PA that that was his 5th, I believe, but that is just his 3rd.
Incorrect. Well, Luke, we mentioned the freshman impact that really the four main freshmen have had on this Miami roster so far. I think I've seen all 4 of them, and when Makai Cooper dove on the floor, I think I've seen all 4 of those freshmen on the floor at one point, and you got to know Travis Steele loves that effort out of his freshmen.
From the right wing, a contested 3 is taken. It's off the mark by Spurlock, and the rebound by Boltman for the RedHawks. Bertman catching some heavy pressure by Winston, and Winston will get the foul as Boltman brings it up the floor.
Really just a frustration foul for Winston right there. No reason to reach in on Boltman from behind, and you see the frustration starting to mount for this Coppin State squad.
Kai Cooper controlling the point for the RedHawks. Crossing back and forth on the right front court. 8:43 to go, second half. Miami leading 63-33. Right of the key, Jaquel Morris. Chest passed over for Hunter on the left wing. Now into the corner, this is Cooper, and he tried to drive in, but he stepped on the sideline. And a mistake will give it back to Coppin State with 8:36 to play.
Well, even though that drive didn't go Cooper's way, I'm just going to keep going back to just the pure presence of the freshmen in this game. They all look wise beyond their years and more matured than a freshman new to college basketball this year.
No points for Makai Cooper, but he's got 4 assists. He's been an excellent facilitator on the offensive end of the floor. Baseline drive by Jones. He throws it off the glass and in with the right hand. Jones gets his first bucket for Coppin State, and it's a 63-35 ball game with 8:14 to play. Hunter, top of the key, with 10 seconds off the shot clock, tried to hand it over, but it's taken away by Jones. He runs the floor, and it's swatted off the rim there on the chase down by Hunter. That's going to be a goaltend as the ball was already on the rim there. The basket will count, I believe, and it will as they will run the troops back the other way, and Bryce Boltman will re-inbound for the RedHawks with 8:06 to go in the second half. 63-37 our score.
It does amaze me how just the pure athleticism that Darwishi Hunter shows on a regular basis. He is just so athletic.
Ipsaro with a quick move on the right side. Back up top for Morris. Now back over for Ipsaro on the right wing. Shovels it over for Bradley Dean. Back for Ipsaro, and Dean once more with his heels on the center court M. Left elbow extended. This is Jaquel Morris for Miami. Back out for Bradley Dean with 6 to shoot. Now Hunter on the far side crossing back and forth. Dean from way downtown. It falls short And the rebound is picked up by Winston for Coppin State. They'll try to stretch the floor quickly. A lead pass gets over Ryan's head and out of bounds. And Miami will get the ball back following the media timeout. 7:30 to go, second half here from Millett Hall, and the RedHawks continue to lead it. 63-37 is our score with Miami in front. Come back to Oxford after this. Stay with us. You're listening to the Miami Classic and Miami basketball here on Red Hawk Radio. 7:29 to go here in our second half. 63-37 the lead for the Miami RedHawks over the Coppin State Eagles. Luke West, Poley, and Will Summers with you. Andrew Relvas has our Red Hawk Radio postgame show coming up after this one. Break down stats and analysis from this game. Take a look at the national scoreboard and preview tomorrow and the rest of the weekend's games, as we've got 3 more games played between a variety of teams on the Millett Hall court coming up this weekend. Once again, tomorrow, 2 games for you here on Red Hawk Radio. First, the Miami women with their home opener against Western Kentucky at 1. Coverage beginning at 12:30 for that one. And then Coppin State and Eastern Illinois meeting on the men's side at 3:30. Then we'll have the final weekend cap on Sunday afternoon as the RedHawks face off against Eastern Illinois at 1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. RedHawks have it coming out of the timeout. Ian Elmer in the right side of the front court, hands for Jaquel Morris. Pretty big lineup out here for Miami right now with a pretty hefty lead. Mabry's just going to chuck one up from 3, and it's too much. Rebounded on the weak side by Ryan. Jones heads up the floor for Coppin State. Now Ryan left of the key. One hands it back for Jones on the right wing. Cutting across, Ryan once again on the left wing will try to drive around, throws up a high shot that didn't reach the rim. Rebound by Jaquel Morris for Miami. Hands off for Dean, who runs it up the floor. Dean finds Mabry in the corner. He hauls up a 3. It's off the side of the backboard. Jaquel Morris working to get down on the floor for the rebound. The ball is loose, though, and it's pulled away by Jones for Coppin State. The Eagles will take it back, and now Jones going quickly up ahead. No-look pass on the right side. Ryan gets down low. It's slapped out of his hands down underneath the basket, but a foul is called. A blocking foul, it looks like, will be on Evan Ipsaro for Miami. And that will, I believe, send Ryan to the free throw line. He was originally standing around there, but now it looks like they might change this to a non-shooting foul, and it will be a Coppin State inbound with 6:31 to play. 63-37 the lead for Miami. It is indeed, though, a shooting foul, and Priest Ryan will shoot some free throws.
Well, Luke, I think it's worth mentioning the woes that Coppin State has felt offensively. It doesn't really feel like a personnel problem. It kind of just feels like the culture and the coaching that first-year head coach Larry Stewart's trying to inflict on his team, it just hasn't really set in yet. But again, I don't think it's a personnel problem as much as really just a scheme.
First free throw was missed, and the second one is hit by Ryan. 63-38 our score, a padded lead for this Miami team with 6:30 to go in the second half. Evan Ipsaro carrying it up the floor, 6 points for the freshman from Northern Kentucky. He has it now in the right corner. Ipsaro gets around a screen set by Morris on the right elbow. He can't pull the trigger on a shot, instead he'll bounce it for Mabry. Now gets it back just right of the key, back outside. Bradley Dean has it at the logo with 10 to shoot. Right in his face, Sparrow trying to distract him. Dean over to the near side, 3-pointer from Elmer. Short off the front of the rim, and the rebound is picked up by Winston next to the floor. Winston has it now on the left wing. Little shimmy shake, tries to drive in, and an offensive foul is drawn underneath the basket. And that's Evan Ipsaro again. That's the third time in this game that Ipsaro has positioned himself off the ball to draw an offensive foul. And he is doing a lot of good things defensively right now for Miami as they'll get the ball back here with 5:58 to go in the second.
Well, it was freshman on freshman crime. Priest Ryan really just whipped down Evan Ipsaro, and we mentioned just the hard-nosed Ipsaro plays so tough on the defensive side of the ball, and you're going to need that continue the entire year. He's going to have a really successful freshman year.
Ipsaro has it in his hands, hands off for Dean on the right side, now up for Mabry. 63-38, Miami leads. Mabry comes off his screen to the right side. Crossing back and forth, he wants another screen. Kiteki will set it. Mabry goes to the right and now to the left. Little bit of room for him, drives left elbow, floats it for Dean. Three-pointer up in the air, and it's off the front of the rim. Weak side rebound offensively by Kiteki, and he got fouled as Sparrow was right up next to him, trying to pull that ball away. Sparrow gets his third, and with Miami in the bonus, the 17th foul. Jackson Kiteki will shoot the 1-and-1. 6'9" freshman from Chicago, Illinois, one of two freshmen from that state the RedHawks brought in. First free throw is too strong from Kiteki, and the rebound pulled down by Coppin State. Jones gets around the screen, steps back, but can't fire off a shot. Instead, it goes to Winston, and now Sparrow in the left corner. Back up top, this is Feg Benley, native of London, England, put down low in the low block. Winston puts one up, and it's off the back of the rim, but he gets the foul call. And with 5:11 to play in the second half, Evan Ipsaro gets his third foul. Travis Steele is not pleased, but some free throws coming up here for Justin Winston, leading scorer in the game for Coppin State with 10.
Refs must have had a much better view than we had over here, because Evan Ipsaro, Coach Steele, very displeased with that. And I'm running along the same lines, and I didn't see much contact there, but nevertheless, Winston will go to the line and shoot two.
Winston's pure on the first free throw. 63-39 the score with 5:11 to go in the second half. Makai Cooper coming back onto the court for Miami to replace Bradley Dean. Winston, the redshirt senior from Orange, New Jersey, hits the second free throw. It's a 2-for-2 trip, and the lead is down to 63-40. And off the inbound, we get a foul. Kiteki just threw that ball to nobody there, and Sparrow could have taken that and just thrown it in. But instead, a foul was called right as Kiteki put that ball in play, and RedHawks will walk the other end of the floor and shoot the bonus free throws coming up here. 5:11 to go second half, 63-40 the score. Evan Ipsaro will shoot for Miami.
At the line for the RedHawks, Evan Ipsaro shooting 1-1.
Coppin State on a 7-0 run, meanwhile, over the last 4:38. Ipsaro's front end of the 1-and-1 clatters in.
Got an update from hockey. North Dakota just scored their second goal, so they now lead Miami 2-0. That one in North Dakota, so Miami had to travel a long way to get there.
Second free throw is hit by Evan Ipsaro. RedHawks facing their former goaltender, Ludwig Pearson, who transferred from Miami to North Dakota this offseason. Back here in Oxford, 65-40 the score with Miami in front. A toss down low gets over the head of Kiteki, and Fag Benley tracks the loose ball down and dunks it in with two hands. 65-42 the score, and Kiteki, or meanwhile, rather it was Ipsaro, took a hard fall there. He will get the foul call as it will be a trip foul on Justin Winston, who gets his second.
Really not too upset with that defensive possession for Kiteki right there. Got a hand on the ball as it traveled over his head. Just an unlucky roll, but gosh, I mean, sound like a broken record, but I'm just so impressed with the contributions of the freshmen so far today.
So Ipsaro will shoot free throws. That's the 19th foul on Coppin State, and so it will be a 1-and-1 for the freshman from Crestview Hills, Kentucky. He was a 91% free throw shooter in high school. First free throw is put up, and it drops in.
Used to dominate the AAU circuit. Got to play against him a little bit in grade school, and man, he's been the same player ever since around 5th grade. He's just so technically sound in every facet of the game.
And he puts the second free throw in. Evan Ipsaro with a double-digit game. Congrats to the freshman. He's got 10 points. 67-42 is the score with Miami leading. 4:40 to go in the game. Around the screen, just right of the key. Battle now on the right side. Drives it into the free throw line. Now left side of the paint, pulls up from 10 feet and had too much on the shot. Rebound by Kentucky for the RedHawks. Nearly got trapped in the corner there, but able to outlet. And Makai Cooper will softly carry it up the floor for Miami. Cooper finds Ipsaro on the near side. Ipsaro and Battle working against each other. Now at the free throw line, Kentucky gets to the ball. Back for Ipsaro on the left wing. 10 to shoot. Ipsaro drives in, bounces into the paint. It hit off the hand of Boltman and goes back outside. Boltman scoops it up between the legs. Dribble, drives in with 3 to shoot. Try to kick it back outside, but a foul is called. Kentucky was wide open and drilled a 3 after the whistle, but the RedHawks will be the beneficiaries of a foul, and Bryce Boltman will shoot as Toto Fagbinley will pick up his 4th. Grad student transfer, experienced in the MEAC, came over from Morgan State, the former home of head coach Larry Stewart. London, England native gets the foul. Boltman's first free throw is off the back of the rim, no good. 4:04 to go second half, 67-42 the lead for Miami.
And Luke, while we're encouraged with how Miami's played so far today, it still is a little bit of a concern how Coppin State's been able to out-rebound offensively Miami by 4. Really got to shore up that, as they're kind of the beneficiary of just a to put it bluntly, just a bad Coppin State team.
Boltman misses the second free throw to the left, and Coppin State will carry it back into the front court with under 4 minutes to play. 67-42. Miami leads Coppin State. Spurlock drives into the paint. Had it plucked free. Kentucky trying to go down on the floor, but Battle scoops up the loose ball, and Kentucky fouls him. And that will send us to a media timeout. 3:43 to go, second half. Here from Millett Hall, it's RedHawks 67, Eagles 42. We'll wrap things up here when we return here on Red Hawk Radio. You're listening to the Miami Classic. More Miami men's basketball on the way. 3:43 to go here in the second half, and Miami out to a comfortable 67-42 lead. Luke West, Poley, and Will Summers with you. Andrew Relvas has our post-game show coming up. Plenty more broadcasts this weekend, as we've already mentioned. Next weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, we will have one game for you coming up on Friday, as Miami hockey team is back at home. It's a home-and-home series against the Mercyhurst Lakers. Friday, Sunday set the Friday game here in Oxford, and then on Sunday, the RedHawks will hit the road to Erie, Pennsylvania. We'll have that Friday game for you here on Red Hawk Radio. 7:05 start from Katie Arena. And also with the Miami football team winning a couple of nights ago on Wednesday, they're headed to the MAC Championship Saturday, December 2nd. The date set for that game, a noon kickoff. And we will have that game for you here on Red Hawk Radio from Detroit as Miami tries to win their second MAC Championship over a 4-year span. Free throw put up out of the timeout by Battle, and he hits it on the front end of the 1-and-1. So very exciting times. The RedHawks will be in action a week from tomorrow to wrap up the regular season against Ball State with a 10-win regular season on the line. It has been a year to remember for Miami on the gridiron.
Well, as the self-proclaimed biggest Rashad Amos fan in the entire entire world, I'm feeling really good about Miami football as we head towards the home stretch.
Amos has really shored things up for Miami well since the loss of Brett Gabbard, as they've had to utilize the run game more. It's been a welcome addition, the transfer from South Carolina. 67-43 following the free throw miss by Coppin State. Cooper slashing into the paint, and he gets fouled as he lost the ball. 3:20 to go, second half. Miami up now by 24.
No, it'd be worth watching what Miami does with kind of the end of their bench if they try to get some of those guys that haven't gotten a lot of playing time in as we near kind of the end of what is looking like kind of a blowout as Miami. Fat Lady hasn't sung yet, but she's warming up her voice.
Cooper will shoot some free throws. Hampton Doppers, the walk-on, came into that game against Texas State only for a couple of minutes. He was really good, though, in those couple of minutes that he did come in. And also it's worth noting that Eli Yofan is dressed every game for Miami. As the first free throw is put up and in by Makai Cooper. Yofan, the walk-on from Pittsburgh, was a guy who saw some pretty significant time at the beginning of the year last year, and then his minutes kind of came to a halt as conference play started, but has not appeared in a game yet this year for the RedHawks. Second free throw is off the backboard and no good for Cooper. Rebound coming down to Priest Ryan for Coppin State. 3:13 to go, second half. 68-43 the lead for the RedHawks. Just left of the key, Sparrow. One dribble, now to the right side, a bounce pass to Jones. Jones works it inside for Spurlock. Now he goes back out with it over to the left corner with 10 to shoot, drives back in, puts a shoulder into Absaro. Ball pops free and somehow finds its way back into Spurlock's hands. He throws it down low for Sparrow, and he rolls it off the rim and in. Now a lead pass up ahead to Elmer. He'll slow it down, spin in the paint, thread the needle, and put it off the glass with the right hand and in. Ian Elmer has been a revelation for Miami. He's got 8 points now, the freshman, and they seemingly all come on highlight reel type of plays. From the MAC logo, a pull-up turnaround jumper clatters in for Priest Ryan as Coppin State moves quickly. 70-47 the score with 2:25 to go here in the second half. And pace of these last couple of possessions similar to what we saw at the beginning of the game. Ipsaro spins, enters the post, throws it down for Dean. He fakes the shot, now back to Ipsaro in the corner. Three in the air, yes sir! Evan Ipsaro with 13 points. He's got 3 made buckets from deep, and Miami leads it by 26 with 2:03 to go. Handoff on the right side for Jones. Thought about the shot, instead it's Ryan left of the key. Now a handoff for Harrison. Harrison works in, feeds Jones on the near side, drives into the post. He mowed down Cooper, and that's an offensive foul.
Well, Luke, for Miami fans, it's extremely, can't blame you if you're a little frustrated with how the start of the year has gone, but really, I just encourage you to stick around. If these freshmen keep playing like they have, as they start to gain more experience at the collegiate level, this team's going to be really scary come January, come February.
Hampton Doppers and Blake Anderson will come in. For Anderson, this is his first appearance of his career, the freshman walk-on from Evansville. And at 50 to go, and the RedHawks up 26. Yeah, to your point, Will, the RedHawks lost some key pieces from last year, but they really feel that they're able to develop some of these young guys early on in conference play. They might be a contender to maybe slip into a top 4 seed and make some noise in the MAC tournament. Eli Yofan is onto the floor now for Miami, and so he makes his first appearance of the season. Doppers on the right elbow. Bounces it for Elmer, spins, right elbow extended. He hands off now for Doppers once again with 10 to shoot. Doppers looking for an option, finds Elmer just outside the paint, lost it for a second. Elmer tripped over a defender there as the ball went out of bounds. It got tipped and will stay with the RedHawks as 4 seconds remain on the shot clock. Bradley Dean comes in for Makai Cooper for Miami. Minute 23 remaining on the clock. RedHawks up 73-47, and they'll have to get a quick catch and shoot here with 4 seconds left to shoot. Makai Cooper, it looks like Makai Cooper just came off. The inbound's right from that area. It's Ian Elmer that's providing it. Elmer for Yofan on the right wing. Fakes the three, now just hurls one up from really deep, and it's an air ball too long. And so that's a shot clock violation on the RedHawks. Just for context, that's the first time that the shot clock has expired in this game when it actually should have, if that gives you any idea how many shots these teams have put up in this one. A lot of short possessions. Coppin State gets the ball back here, down 73-47, 70 seconds remaining in the game. Jones circles around to the top of the key. His pass gets tipped into the bench for Coppin State by Ian Elmer. Eagles hold on to it here with 1 minute and 4 seconds remaining. All academic in this one as fans begin to stir and get ready for the exits. Miami's going to pick up their first win of the year as a spin-around attempt by Harrison. He got tripped up by Dean. It's going to be a foul on the RedHawk junior. And it will give Coppin State a chance to trim into this lead with some free throws.
Well, Luke, to your point, Miami, if they are able to slip into a kind of a higher seed in the MAC tournament, that's no small task at all, because the MAC really has separated themselves basketball-wise from the low to mid-major conferences, and a top 4 seed in the MAC tournament this year, giving themselves a chance to put themselves in position to win it, would be, I mean, just quite an accomplishment for a very young squad.
First free throw was made by Harrison, second one in the air, and it clatters off the rim. Rebound by Yofin for the RedHawks. And the MAC was on the verge of being a 2-bid league last year. That gives you an idea of how good this conference is in terms of where mid-majors stand. Dopperis has it with 45 seconds to play at the logo. Now Anderson over for Dean. He's going to throw one up from way downtown, and he hits it. Bradley Dean from deep. He hits the three-pointer, and he's got 9 points. Quickly the other way, a shot comes up from Harrison. It goes in and out, and he gets fouled. And with 32.9 seconds to go, Coppin State will shoot some free throws. 76-48, the RedHawks lead.
Well, we've seen 4 of those just NBA-type threes from Bradley Dean today. He made his first one and went cold the next 2 attempts from way downtown, but was able to find the bottom of the net once again.
First free throw is not made by Harrison. Very quick-moving game, by the way. This is going to be under 2 hours since the start. It's actually going to be almost closer to an hour and a half on the game. Second free throw put up, and it's also no good. 0 for 2 trip by Harrison as the rebound pulled down by Anderson for the RedHawks. Shot clock and game clock separated by 2 seconds. Miami cannot run the game out. Dean heads down the right lane, now works it back outside, still with the ball in his hands. Dean calls for a screen from Yofin, quickly gets a mismatch on Williams. Dean drives in, left elbow jumper, pull up. It's too strong off the back of the rim. Rebounded by Sparrow for Coppin State. 7 seconds to go. Quickly up the floor goes Harrison. He'll hold on to it with 3 seconds to go. He might toss up one final shot, but he'll just hold on as the clock hits zeros, and that is how our game comes to an end here on this Friday night. Well, it's a good start to the Miami Classic for the RedHawks as they pick up their first win of the season. They do so in dominant fashion as the RedHawks took over early on in this one and picked up the lead. And they win by a final count of 76-48 here on the Friday night from Oxford. Miami now 1-2 this season. RedHawks will be back against Eastern Illinois coming up on Sunday afternoon. In a 1 p.m. tip for that for Coppin State. It's a quick turnaround. They will be back in action in less than 24 hours at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon to take on Eastern Illinois in their second and final game of the weekend. Will, certainly things to work on. There always are coming out of a game like this, especially early on in the season in non-conference play. But you mentioned patience for Miami fans being something that's needed with a team as young as this. I think this was a performance, though, that was well due for this RedHawk team through a couple of games.
Oh, for sure, and really the number that you can look to really exemplify the success that Miami had today was the assist numbers. They out-assisted, if you will, Coppin State 21-4. That's no small task at all in Miami. If they're able to share the ball like they did tonight, going to be a lot of success and a lot more wins. Keep stacking these W's, give yourself a chance, and build a lot of momentum towards conference play.
Bryce Boltman leading the way for Miami with 21 points, and he was excellent for the RedHawks this evening. He'll look to keep it rolling later on this weekend for Coppin State. The struggles continue to begin the year. The Eagles are 0-5, and they failed to score 50 points another time this season, as that will likely drop their average to right around that 50-point mark. A team that has just really struggled to score the basketball under a first-year head coach, but we'll have a chance to figure things out against an Eastern Illinois team that also sits bottom 20 in the nation on Ken Palm tomorrow afternoon. That will be a 3:30 start, and we'll have that here on Red Hawk Radio. Thanks so much for tuning in. For Will Summers, my name is Luke West Poley. We'll be back on the air tomorrow at 1 o'clock for Miami Women's Hoops against Western Kentucky. We hope you tune in then. Until then, we say so long, and now we send it over to our post-game show. Here's Andrew Relvas.
Thank you, Luke and Will. The Miami RedHawks defeat the Coppin State Eagles 76-48 in what was at first a sloppy game, but in the end it was cleaned up by the RedHawks very nicely, and the RedHawks win by a large margin. I'll take you through the second half stats overall for the Coppin State Eagles. They shot 10 for 22, much better than they did in the first half. They shot 30% from the floor in the first, 45% from the floor in the second. 2 for 6, and from 3-point land. So they made their 3-point shots. They made 2 more than they did. They went 0 for 10 from 3 in the first half. I mean, I guess that's a positive takeaway for them. They clean it up in that area. But I'll turn it over to the RedHawks. They scored 36 compared to the 40 in the first half, 12 for 25 from the floor, 48% from the floor, 5 for 15 from 3. Very, very solid stuff. The RedHawks are strong, and, you know, if you keep knocking down these threes, you're going to win some games. The RedHawks won this one by a lot, and that's exactly just how things go around here. They also made a good amount of free throws, 10 for 16, 62%. They were over 70% last year. You know, they're going to improve on it. That's what happens when you lose Mekhi Larry, who was like an over 90% free throw shooter. But you lose him, and you have pretty much a brand new team in Oxford here. But, you know, there's some things that you got to clean up. Obviously, the turnovers, 15 turnovers. The RedHawks have had double-digit turnovers in all of their games, all 3 games. They've had 14, they've had 20 in 1, and then now you got 15 turnovers. That's something I'm sure Travis Steele wants to kind of break down, but, you know, most of that was in the first half. It was a sloppy first portion of the first half where both sides couldn't really get anything going, and if you clean that up, you know, you take a portion of that half away, you could potentially be under double-digit turnovers. But it was a tough showing, sloppiness-wise. But overall, just a very phenomenal showing for the Miami RedHawks to get their first win of the year. They go to 1-2, and for the Coppin State Eagles, they go down to 0-5. I'll give you the stat breakdowns quickly, and then we will wrap this one up here from Millett Hall. Bryce Boltman led the scoring for the RedHawks, 21 points, 8 for 12 from the floor, 4 for 6 from 3. How about that? The big man, he knows how to score it, and he is really showing well for this new Miami RedHawks group. He's 6'8", you know, like Kevin Durant type size, and showing off that Kevin Durant type accuracy. 6 rebounds as well. He was tied with Morris, who was perfect on the day, 4 for 4 and 9 points as well. 6 rebounds. Jaquel Morris also had 2 blocks. Boltman led the day in steals as well, 2 steals. So rebounds, steals, and points. Bryce Boltman had himself a phenomenal day. Darwishi Hunter as well. 5 assists. He sat out pretty much some of the second half. He sat out most of it, but he still got 26 minutes under him. Didn't score 21 points like he did the first 2 games, but overall played very well. And on the flip side, for the Coppin State Eagles, it was a very strong performance from Justin Winston, who was 0 for 7 to start out the game, but he improved to 4 for 10, I apologize. And yeah, it was a impressive showing for him, 4 for 5 from the free throw line. Also 9 rebounds, almost had a double-double there, but just 1 short. And only 4 assists on the night for Coppin State. I'm sure that's one thing Larry Stewart wants to break down with his group, but, you know, it was a tough showing for the Eagles. They come into this game ranked as the 3rd worst according to KenPom rankings. And, yeah, it's going to be tough for this group, but we'll see how the Eagles progress throughout the season. And speaking of which, we have a few RedHawk radio broadcasts coming up. Luke said it a little bit on the air. Our next official RedHawk radio broadcast, it's Miami women's basketball team. They're taking on the Western Kentucky Hilltoppers. That'll be a 1 o'clock start, 12:30 pregame show. Make sure to tune into that one tomorrow, November 18th. And then right after that, we've got Game 2 of the Miami Invitational. It's Eastern Illinois versus Coppin State, the Panthers versus the Eagles. That'll be a 3:30 start, 4 o'clock for the game. And the last one on the schedule this weekend, it's the Miami RedHawks once more versus the Eastern Illinois Panthers. That will be a Sunday game at 1 o'clock, 12:30 pregame. We'll have that for you on RedHawk Radio. Well, that's going to do it here from Millett Hall. We thank you so much for spending your night with us on a beautiful Friday night here in Oxford, Ohio. My name is Andrew Relvas. So glad you could be here with us all throughout tonight's action between the RedHawks and the Eagles. And we hope to see you soon for an upcoming Miami RedHawk Radio broadcast in the coming days. Thanks so much, and have a great rest of your night.